Chapter 711, Hahaha. If you won't come, I'll just go to you. Manoda. The duration of System 371's impeachment is 5 years. What? That long? It was just a month for hell. System 371 was flustered by Sejun's words. Yuhihi, within 5 years, I'll put all the worlds under Sejun Company's feet. Conquest, conquest. System SJC cheering. System 371 will be impeached for 5 years. System SJC will act as the main system during System 371's impeachment period. As the impeachment process proceeded, clang, System 371 was imprisoned. Good, Chairman Park of Sejun Company is now the strongest in the world. From now on, pay 1 million tower coins in taxes to Chairman Park of Sejun Company every day, and offer 1 good item every day as tribute. System SJC began injecting the main system with policies it had wanted to implement. However, the causality limit of the new rule, Chairman Park of Sejun Company is now the strongest in the world, has been exceeded by more than 1,000%. This is an impossible request. System collapse is beginning. What? Only 10 minutes after System SJC began managing the main system, it began to break down due to overload. System SJC has given orders that the main system cannot handle, resulting in an overload. If this continues, the system will completely collapse in 1 hour. If the system collapses, massive chaos will erupt in the world. At the same time, a message appeared in front of Sejun. What? Who is System SJC to cause the main system to collapse? Still unaware of the existence of System SJC, Sejun hated the system that had wrongly targeted him, but he didn't want the system to collapse. Cancel the impeachment. Bring back System 371. In a fluster, Sejun reinstated System 371. It's not like I didn't want to do it, okay? Clang. With a dignified expression, System 371 emerged from prison and hurried to clean up the mess caused by System SJC. Hitting. I just wanted to do well. System SJC was dejected, but quickly pulled itself together and Pika. I'll do better next time. To avoid making mistakes when another chance came, it closely observed what System 371 was doing. Phew, that was close. Sejun let out a sigh of relief. And then, if impeachment doesn't work, I'll have to give another punishment. He pondered what kind of punishment to give System 371. Just then, Kilahit Kang. Hee Butler, since there's a newcomer you have to give them a name. That's right. K. Kurug. Sharalang. The Blackie family looked at Sejun with eyes full of anticipation. Heh shall I? System 371, biased against me, failed impeachment wanna punish. Sejun began nomming based on the keywords that came to mind. Since System 371 had no physical form, there were no visual keywords. Pronouncing 371 phonetically gives Samkari. TL note. Ko sum inus equals 3, ko chi inus equals 7, ko e inus equals 1. Samkari is phonetic of 371 in Korean. Guys, how about Iuk Samkari? Because it is biased against me, Samkari who is biased. Iuk Samkari. TL note, ko inus, Iuk here comes from slang ko inus, which means unfair hate. When Sejun said the name and asked the Blackie family, nod. As expected of Butler. As expected of Sejun Nim. As expected of the master of embarrassing nomming. The Blackie family nodded fervently with eyes full of trust. They seemed to really like it. It's an order. From now on your name is Iuk Samkari. Yes. Thus, by Sejun's order, the name of System 371 was changed to System Iuk Samkari. The effect of talent. Namer has been activated. The name Iuk Samkari has been imbued with a special effect. System Iuk Samkari may make decisions favorable to Tower Farmer Park Sejun of the Black Tower, that exceed the restrictions imposed on the system by being biased against itself. System Iaksamkari, when being biased against itself, will have its abilities drop by up to 50% for 24 hours and cannot be biased during that time. As the namer effect activated, the name was imbued with special effects. If System Iaksamkari makes a decision in my favor, it gets biased. Hehe, I kind of want to test that out. Sejun hesitated for a moment. Change my quest reward to something better. He gave an order to System Iaksamkari for what he wanted. Then there are 3 quests. Which quest's reward would you like to improve? 3 quest windows appeared before Sejun. A quest to change the world's energy to world's energy freed from corruption. A quest to cut through the storm and fulfill the wish of Sejun number 3. A quest to offer the price to the Creator God's tablet and create a new world law. I'll go with this one. Sejun selected the first quest. The quest to cut through the storm didn't seem all that useful even if the reward improved, and the quest to create a new world law already had such a great reward that it didn't seem possible to make it even better. System Iaksamkari enhanced the quest reward by being biased against itself. The quest reward has been enhanced. For each world's energy freed from corruption created, you will receive +1 to all stats, 1 billion tower coins, a 0.00001% reduction in 0th floor stay fee, and an additional 100,000 experience points. System Iaksamkari is being biased against itself, reducing its abilities by 50% for 24 hours. Thanks to that, Sejun's quest reward increased by 10%, and System Iaksamkari had its abilities reduced by 50% for 24 hours. Was that its maximum output? Sejun made a disappointed face. Still it got falsely accused. Satisfied with it being biased against System Iaksamkari, he resumed moving treasures with his companions. Time passed and evening arrived. Pip pip, everyone have a good night. Peacebees woke up and began his activities. Peacebees, eat your meal and then open a dimensional gate to the Black Tower. Pip pip, okay. Peacebees ate his fruit lunchbox and swoosh and opened a dimensional gate connected to the 99th floor of the Black Tower. Guys, we're pulling an all-nighter today. Kwek. We're. Sejun summoned the mushroom ants and poisonous bees to carry the treasures to the 99th floor. The moved treasures were stored by Aileen in her warehouse. Even with a massive workforce mobilized, it still took 15 hours to completely clean out Rascal's void storage. All right, done. When Sejun and the others exited Rascal's void storage. Kaiwat, power of dimensions. Iona began connecting Rascal's void storage to Sejun's void storage. However, Kaiwat, I can only do this much. With Sejun's magic power, it was impossible to absorb Rascal's vast void storage entirely, so Iona connected the remaining void storage to Theo, Kyungi, Peacebees, and Blackie. Thus, Theo, Kyungi, and Peacebees each received a void storage space of 33,000 square meters. Kilahit Kaying. Hee. Great Blackie can now secretly store roasted and dried sweet potatoes in the void storage without the butler knowing. Blackie also received a small but precious void storage of 3.3 square meters. When Rascal's void storage had been fully absorbed. Kugagung. Suddenly the sky cracked and the earth began to split. Iaksamkari, what's going on? Sejun quickly asked System Iaksamkari. Sejun Nim, the level 0 world is disappearing. You must leave here immediately. System Iaksamkari warned Sejun. The level 0 world. And continued the explanation. Just as Earth evolved and leveled up, there are also worlds that regress and drop in level. And originally, when not disrupted by destruction, the natural process is for worlds to vanish and new ones to be created. But the rascal, the god of thieves, had deceived the process by disguising the one-eyed watchman as the last survivor in the level 0 world Manoda, forcibly preventing its extinction and using it as his treasure warehouse. Pip Sejun Nim this way. Thus, while listening to System Euk Samkari explanation, Sejun crossed the dimensional gate. Pip. Peacebees quickly closed the dimensional gate. Moments later, the world Manoda, now emptied of all beings. Quagwagwing. Under an immense force, Manoda turned to dust, and that dust mixed with the remains of other extinct worlds, preparing to be reborn as a new world. 99th floor of the Black Tower. Everyone good job. As the sun began to set, Sejun, who had returned to the 99th floor of the tower, praised his companions. Then, Hut, that's right, meow. I Vice Chairman Theo worked the hardest, meow. Chairman Park hurry and pat my head, meow. Theo, clinging to Sejun's knee, stuck out his head. Kyung. Kyungi worked hard too. Dad should pet Kyungi first. Pip, Sejun Nim, you didn't forget that I made the dimensional gate, right? I'll go first. Grrr Kaying. Grrr, Butler, Great Blackie goes first no matter what. Kyungi, Peacebees, and Blackie all claimed they worked the hardest and argued that they should be petted first. Why are you fighting over that? All right, line up. Sejun matched the head height of Theo, Kyungi, Peacebees, and Blackie. Stroke, and stroked all four of their heads simultaneously by moving both palms left and right. Meow. Kyung. Pip. Kaying. All four frowned, seemingly dissatisfied with receiving the pats together. But then, Hut. Kyuiha. Palihehit. Kivihit. They soon broke into bright grins, enjoying Sejun's touch. Not only was Sejun's touch pleasant, but the warmth they felt from each other's contact was also comforting. After patting everyone, it's late, but we still need to have a celebration party for becoming a building owner and landlord of gods. Sejun prepared the party he hadn't held the previous day. He made Theo's grilled fish, Iona's roasted peanuts, Kyungi's honey rice cakes, and Blackie's extremely delicious royal honey sweet potatoes. He also prepared choco pies for Pink Fur, grilled mushrooms for the mushroom ants, honey for the poisonous bees, and grass porridge for the black minotaurs. Meanwhile, the poisonous bees informed the farm members about the party. Kyung. Mu. Kegwek. Weeing. The farm members flocked to Sejun's house yard, waiting for the party to begin. At that moment, flap. Kuahaha, we arrived at just the right time. Uahaha, indeed. Duahaha, we can't miss a party. The dragon statues of the 9 leaders flew in. Is it okay for you to come here? Surprised at the arrival of the leaders, who should have been busy working at the temple of the creator god, Sejun asked. Then, Nuhahaha, who do you think we are? We're the great dragons. We quickly finished the task the creator god gave us. That's right, we completed the space where the creator god will reside. The dragon leaders answered proudly. Finally, Sejun could now use the waypoint to go to the land of destruction. One more reason for a party had been added. Thank you for your hard work. Here's some samyangju, please have a glass. Shall we? Well, if it's from Sejun. Pretending to be reluctant, the dragon leaders joined the party and enjoyed it with everyone. Kuahiti, it's delicious. Aileen also watched the party through the crystal orb and enjoyed the strawberry parfait, mango shaved ice, and chocolate cake that Sejun had made just for her. As the night deepened, everyone eat this and forgive my guys. Sejun and his companions helped the Blackie family apologize inside Blackie's mental world. And then, Gururuk. Corruption appeared again today. Corruption, thanks for yesterday, but you don't need to send ogres or the planet-destroying turtle anymore. I completed the quest. HMPH, do you think I'll send them just because you ask and stop just because you say so? Corruption replied gruffly to Sejun's words. However, so you don't need my help anymore. Is that why you didn't come see me yesterday? Inside, Corruption was feeling very hurt. At that moment, Corruption wanted to come to my place. Sejun reached out his hand and asked Corruption, "What, go where?" Flustered by Sejun's suggestion, Corruption's heart fluttered wildly. However, Corruption hid her true feelings and coldly refused. "Because even if you find me cute now, you'll soon come to hate me, just like everyone else. To avoid being hurt, part ways here for today." "All right, Vice Chairman Theo Siobem." "Got it, meow." Sejun didn't insist further and attacked Corruption. Whoosh. Corruption burned. "Ha, if you won't come, I'll just go to you." "What?" Hearing Sejun's incomprehensible words, Corruption vanished. Chapter 712. The distance is too close. Land of destruction. He said he would come. What does that mean? Corruption pondered deeply on what Sejun had said before her thought vanished. Could it be? Does he mean he's coming here? Thump, thump, thump. Just the thought that Sejun was coming to see her made Corruption's heart pound fiercely. Someone was coming to see her at that moment. But can he even meet me? A sudden thought occurred to her. Sejun looked very frail. He definitely wasn't at a level where he could face Corruption directly. I hope Sejun becomes stronger. In Corruption's heart, which had been full of hatred and anger, affection and concern for Sejun began to slowly carve out a small place. An existence so insignificant as Sejun. However, it was something she didn't want to lose. 99th floor of the Black Tower. All right. Sejun energetically got up once again today. Maintain cleanliness. He first washed his body with the skill, then. "Hugh, look at these stinky ones smell." He brought his nose close to Theo and Blackie's heads, bellies and paws, sniffing the scent. "Heh, nice, so cozy." With a wide grin, Sejun took in the musty scent deeply and then. Maintain cleanliness. Used the skill to wash his companions. And then. Meow. Kaying. He gathered up his companions and stood up. "Let's get started today too." Clang. Sejun opened the void storage and went inside, then opened the door to the room with the locust farm. Wow. So spacious. Before his eyes appeared a locust farm that had grown to 4 times its previous size. Yesterday, Iona had connected Rascal's void storage, causing the farm's size to increase. The numbers have increased too. Thanks to the expansion, the number of locusts which hadn't been able to grow due to lack of space had increased. Press swoosh. Press swoosh. Black Tower's lucky legendary merchant Park Theo has defeated the first calamity of destruction, the White Locust. You have obtained 50 million experience points, which is 50% of the experience gained by Park Theo. Due to the effect of title, owner of the Calamity Farm, you have acquired an additional 100 million experience points. Sejun pressed Theo's front paw and hunted the white locusts with 1 meow slash. Since there were more than usual, the hunting time also increased. Once the hunting was over. Eat a lot and keep growing. Sejun tossed the prune branches and harvested crop stalks as feed and closed the door. Then he visited the other Calamity farms in order, hunting and feeding them. As the other farms had also expanded, the number of calamities to hunt had increased, so hunting took longer than usual. When Sejun finally came out of the void storage. Thump thump. Heavy footsteps were heard from afar. Pink Fur appeared carrying Kyungi. "It's already breakfast time, just a moment." Kyuiha. Sejun carried Kyungi, who clung to him, to his side and went to the kitchen. Cooking. He replicated the choco pie made by Sejun number 12 and filled Pink Fur's snack pouch to the brim. "Here. Kyuang." "Thank you, Sejun Nim." Kyuhuhu. Thump 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 thump. With a cheerful laugh, Pink Fur walked away joyfully to continue training. And then, "Guys, let's eat." Sejun woke his drowsy companions, still groggy from sleep, and fed them breakfast. Once breakfast was finished, Kyuang. Dad, here's your coffee. With thanks. Slurp. Aw, that's nice. This is the taste. Sejun sat in his chair and smiled happily while drinking the iced coffee that Kyungi had prepared. And then, Pyuhyuhut, Kyuhiha, Kivihit. Theo, Kyungi, and Blackie settled beside Sejun, basking in the post-meal drowsiness. Kaiwat, Kaiwat, Kaiwat. Of course, Leona also spent a joyful time wrapping Theo's tail around her body. After enjoying about 30 minutes of leisure, Sejun took his companions to the 10th tower to do some farming. Helnim, you're working hard, right? If you don't pay rent, it's impeachment again. Pyuhyuhut, that's right, meow. If you don't pay rent, it's impeachment again, meow. He urged Hel to pay rent. Hel, the god who lost her divinity, says she is working hard to make elixirs, so please don't exile her. Ahem, last time was just a warning, but if you don't pay rent, I'll really exile you. Sejun boasted bluffingly at Hel's words, despite not being able to actually do it. Pyuhyuhut, that's right, meow. You'll get both impeached and exiled, meow. As expected of the great Chairman Park, meow. Thanks to that, Theo also cheerfully threatened Hel. Hel truly had a hard time in many ways. After finishing the work at the 10th tower, Sejun and his companions arrived at Kamuldesion. You're clearly not going to send them, but you're not being honest about it. Sejun confirmed that the ogre and the planet-destroying turtle were not present. Hehe, when we meet later, I'll tease her. Sejun grinned like a villain, imagining corruption, desperately denying that she didn't send the ogre and the turtle because of what Sejun said. That made it all the more fun to tease her. After finishing the farming at Kamuldesion, Sejun returned to the Black Tower. Then shall we go? When Sejun infused the portal scroll with magic power. Rumble! The ground shook and an arched door made of white marble formed, and Pyuhyuhut, Great Hybrid Chairman Park, Vice Chairman Theo, will go in first and confirm that it's safe for you, meow. Kyungi will also go in first to check if it's safe for Dad. Kilahit Kaying. Hee, Butler. Great Blackie will too. Great Blackie will go and inspect if everything was done properly. Theo, Kyungi, and Blackie rushed into the space rippling with blue energy. Meanwhile, Sejun checked his equipment. The Lover's Ring Amplification, and Kaira's Guardian Necklace given by Aileen. The Dragon Horns Return Bracelet, and Dragon Horns Summoning Bracelet given by Kaiser. The Elder Brother Shield of Dragon Horn given by Kellyan. The Flame Devourer given by Ramter. The Divine Relics of Patrick, the God of Earth. Patrick, the God of Earth, Straw Hat and Earth Blade. The Divine Relic of Lee, the God of Abundance. Pouch of Abundance made with utmost care. The Divine Relic used as a pitchfork from Myrna, the God of Dragons. Trident of Fire, Wind, and Water. The Orb of Death's Energy, given by Karura. The Durable Spider Silk Camouflage Suit, given by G. Gomi. The Excellent Farmer's Golden Boots, given by Amila. The Demonic Sword Stormbringer, which had become an ordinary sword after its ego disappeared. And just in case, he also packed the Eamdal's Sturdy Stone Pot, given by Eamdal. When Sejun had packed all his gear thoroughly. Pyuhyuhut, Chairman Park, it's safe, meow. Creator God isn't there, meow. Kyuehat Kyuang. Hahel, it's safe. Kilahit Kaying. Hee, Butler, it's safe. But since Butler is a sunfish, you never know. The three who had gone ahead to check the temple of the Creator God returned and reported to Sejun. And then, what sunfish? This impudent Blackie sunfish. Sejun couldn't stand being called a sunfish by Blackie, who was weaker than him. No, he didn't hold back, because he was an easy target. Squeeze. So he grabbed Blackie's cheek and punished him by squishing him as a glutinous rice cake. Kaying. Butler, let's talk it out. Blackie requested dialogue, but too late. Sejun had no intention of letting go. It was soft and felt good. While Sejun was pulling on Blackie's cheeks. Kyungi also wanted to play with Dad. Kyungi subtly brought his face close. To Kyungi, Blackie being punished by Sejun seemed like they were just playing together. Kyungi, this is punishment though. Kyuihe. Kyungi looked at Sejun with innocent eyes. Kyungi, if you're like that. Well, that's a thank you for me. Squeeze. Sejun let go of Blackie's cheeks and grabbed Kyungi instead. As he stretched Kyungi's cheeks, Hezeli. Laughter came out naturally. Theo and Blackie's cheeks had been stretched whenever they caused trouble, but his filial son Kyungi never caused such trouble, so there had never been a chance to stretch his cheeks. Kyungi had the chubbiest, stretchiest cheeks, giving the best tactile satisfaction. Hezeli. As Sejun foolishly giggled, while squishing Kyungi's cheeks with both hands. Meow. Kaying. The eldest Theo and the youngest Blackie were sulking. They puffed out their cheeks and stared at Sejun, putting pressure on him. Chairman Park, touch my cheek too, meow. Butler, touch Great Blackie's cheeks too. What kind of competition is this? Fuhaha, line up. Thanks to that, Sejun was the only one enjoying himself. After evenly squishing the cheeks of the three. Guys, get your gear ready. He had his companions prepare their equipment too. Puhut, already packed my bag, meow. Theo proudly showed Sejun his legendary merchant item, the bag of the legendary merchant wandering the 9 towers. Kaiwat, I brought my staff too. Yona had her staff of suppressing gravity ready. Kyungi brought the thunderbolt staff. Kivihit. Blackie brought his snack pouch filled with extremely delicious royal honey sweet potatoes. All right, then let's go now. SRRRK. Sejun and his companions entered the portal. A short while later, Piat, Urin, Poyo, and the 4 guardian beasts, who had heard about the party through the full-time employee network, arrived. Pio. Where did Sejun Nim and the others go? Ah, this must be the portal to the Creator God's temple. Let's wait here. Yuhihe, got it. I'll check if there's any food left from yesterday's party. Responding to Piat, Urin headed to the kitchen. Moihe. Lick. Poyo clung closely to Urin, licking away at Urin's misfortune. And then, Kayong. All right, let's come up with a plan. Beektang gathered the other guardian beasts, Chengniang, Hukbuk, and Jiakbai, and spoke in a serious voice. However, Nyingniang, Pibokbog, Jack. The 3 wore expressions like, what plan? Kayong. Sejun Nim's knee recapture operation. Beektang said confidently, but, yes, you do that alone. The 3 quickly moved away from Beektang and sat next to Piat. Because staying near Beektang would surely get them branded by Theo as an accomplice. So they decided to stick right next to Piat, who was Theo's right front paw. Thus, Beektang was completely cut off by the group. Kayong. I can do it alone. I'm going to drive away Theo Hyung and claim Sejun Nim's lap. First, Theo Hyung needs to cause trouble, so. He tried to think of an idea that would get Theo banned from the lap. But no ideas came to mind. I'm sleepy, should I sleep a little? Kairung. He quickly fell asleep. Sejun Nim's lap. Even if only in a dream, Beektang had seized Sejun's lap. You have entered the portal connected to the Creator God's temple. A message appeared in front of Sejun. As he kept walking, Sejun emerged from the blue energy into the interior of a building glowing with a resplendent light. So this is the Creator God's temple. Sejun spoke while looking around, finally having arrived without fainting. Park Sejun, welcome. I am Emila Ibines, the first apostle of the Creator God. Nice to meet you. I'm Amur Lange, the second apostle of the Creator God. Emila and Amur welcomed Sejun warmly. Yes, hello, Emila Nim, thank you for the boots. Sejun expressed his gratitude for the excellent farmer's golden boots that Emila had given him. And then, Amur Nim, the portrait, thank you as well. He also thanked Amur. Although he wanted to bring up that his face hadn't been included in the portrait, he held back, knowing his companions had already scolded Amur about it. Theo, Kyungi, and Blackie had each spoken about it once, so he thought it wouldn't be right for him to step forward and mention it again. Flamey, the dutiful daughter, had also given Amur a thorough scolding about the portrait, but Sejun didn't know that. At any rate, it was fortunate for Amur. The moment Sejun brought it up, Theo, Flamey, Kyungi, and Blackie would start complaining again in that order. "Then are we heading straight to the land of destruction?" Sejun asked. In response, "Please follow me. There are a few things you need to know before we go. First, there's a weight limit on what you can carry. The weight limit is 10 kg. As they headed to the waypoint, the two began explaining. Although they would go together, there was information Sejun needed to know in advance. When crossing the waypoint, the total weight of items they could bring was up to 10 kg. The void storage could not be used, and any seeds carried would not germinate. It's similar to entering the tower. Though he didn't originally have a void storage back then, the 1 kg weight limit and the non-germination condition of seeds when entering the tower were the same. After hearing the explanation, Sejun put down the elder brother shield of dragon horn, the earth blade, and the demonic sword Stormbringer to match the weight. Farming tool or food. After pondering for a while between trident of fire, wind, and water, and Eamdal's sturdy stone pot. Since I might not need to eat. He put down the stone pot and matched the 10 kg weight. And when you cross over, it's dangerous due to the energy of destruction, so keep that in mind. That's why even we can only last an hour before we have to come out. Emila and Amur gave Sejun the final information he needed to know. Place your hand here. Yes. Taji. When Sejun placed his hand on the white crystal, the others followed suit. Since void storage could not be used, everyone had to register the waypoint individually. Peacebees also got up and placed his wing on the crystal. Temple of the Creator God waypoint has been saved. Land of Destruction waypoint has been saved. With that, Sejun and his companions registered both waypoints simultaneously. Then let's move. We'll go first and take care of the monsters, come a little later. Emila and Amur departed first. After about 5 minutes later, waypoint list. Land of Destruction. Black Tower 99th floor. White Tower 99th floor. Red Tower 99th floor. Let's go to. Press. Sejun selected the Land of Destruction from the waypoint list, moving to Land of Destruction. And soon vanished. Meow. Kaiwat. Kyung. Pip Pip. Kaying. The rest of the group also followed Sejun into the Land of Destruction. Land of Destruction. It's Sejun. He really came. Corruption was thrilled by Sejun's presence. However, the distance is too close. At this rate, Sejun will die. When she realized the distance to Sejun was too close, while Sejun, who should be running away, stayed still, Corruption hurriedly began fleeing to the farthest place from Sejun. And thus, one more being was added to the list of those struggling for the sunfish's survival. Chapter 713. This time I might beat Theo Hyung, Kayahe. You have arrived at the Land of Destruction. Sejun arrived at the Land of Destruction. The sky was ominously red, the ground was muddy, the air was stuffy, and it smelled of rot and blood. In short, it was an unpleasant place. At that moment you have been exposed to intense energy of destruction. All abilities have decreased by 70%. Life force is rapidly depleting. You will die in 5 minutes. A message appeared in front of Sejun. 5 minutes. I have to hurry. It said that seeds can't germinate after passing a waypoint. But what about seeds created here without going through a waypoint? Seed creation. Sejun hurriedly used the job trait he obtained by becoming an SS-grade tower farmer to test his hypothesis. Then please select a seed to create. Magical cherry tomato seed. Power sweet potato seed. Destruction devourer seed. Seeds that could be created after being harvested more than 100 million times, appeared in front of Sejun. Sejun quickly selected the Destruction Devourer seed, and creating 100 Destruction Devourer seeds. 100 Destruction Devourer seeds appeared in Sejun's palm. Please sprout. Puck, puck, you have planted Destruction Devourer seeds in soil imbued with magic power. Sejun, with desperate hope, infused magic power into the ground as he planted the seeds. If this failed, he would have to return immediately. Then he wouldn't be able to face the Creator God, the 2 apostles of creation, and the 9 dragon leaders who worked hard for him. The condition of the soil is at its worst. The land was in such bad condition that germination was originally impossible, but due to the master-level effect of the magic seed sowing skill, which guarantees 100% germination, the Destruction Devourers successfully sprouted. Crack! The Destruction Devourers quickly grew and surfaced above the ground. Due to the extremely poor land condition, they were much smaller than their original size, only about the length of a finger joint. Heb, heb, heb. But the Destruction Devourers rapidly grew by devouring the abundant and dense energy of destruction around them. Thanks to that, the density of the energy of destruction around Sejun decreased, and the remaining time until Sejun's death began to steadily increase by 1 second at a time. As the number of Destruction Devourers increased, so did the time. When Sejun had planted about 5 seeds, swish! Theo, Iona, Kyungi, Peacepeace, and the Blackie family appeared on the waypoint. And, is this where the corruption lives, meow? Something feels off, meow. Kaiwat, Kaiwat, Kaiwat. Even the magic power is contaminated. Kyung. It smells weird. Pip pip, something feels ominous. They shared their impressions of the land of destruction. All were negative. Kilahit Kaying. Hee, this is Great Blackie's territory. Just trust in Great Blackie. That's right, this used to be our domain. K. Kuruk. Sharalang. On the other hand, the Blackie family was full of confidence. But you have been exposed to intense energy of destruction. You will die in 1 minute. They were no longer the apostles of destruction who once ruled this place. Kaying. Butler, Great Blackie is dying. Sunfish Blackie urgently called out to Sejun. Dedada. Sejun quickly ran over, gathered his companions, and placed the Blackie family beside the Destruction Devourers. Then, pug pug pug. He rapidly planted Destruction Devourer seeds around the Blackie family to increase their numbers. After a while, thanks to the 100 Destruction Devourers diligently absorbing the energy of destruction, Blackie's remaining time until death increased from 1 minute to 15 minutes, and Sejun's from 5 minutes to 1 hour and 30 minutes. Heb, heb, heb. Although the 100 Destruction Devourers worked hard to absorb the energy of destruction, the surrounding energy was so dense that new energy of destruction quickly filled the space left behind. This was the best they could do. Thus, Sejun and his party gained a bit of breathing room. With Kyungi levitating the Destruction Devourers using telekinesis, they began exploring the area around the waypoint. Kayak. Bang. Quagwagwang. A chilling cry and explosion echoed behind Sejun and his party. Is it over there? As they ran toward the source of the sound, they found Emila and Amur surrounded and fighting against hundreds of thousands of dark red snakes. The snakes were 2 to 5 meters long, without eyes or noses. Instead, they had razor-sharp shark-like teeth that looked capable of ripping out chunks of flesh with a single bite. Kayak. The snakes, perhaps using other senses to see, attacked Emila and Amur with precision. Wick. Some of them turned their heads towards Sejun and his companions. Srrrk. The snakes slithered across the ground in an S shape, rapidly approaching. Puhu Hut. I Vice Chairman Theo will protect the great hybrid Chairman Park Meow, Meow Meow Storm Fist. Kaiwat, Kaiwat, Kaiwat. Power of the wind with sharp winds Tornado Blade. Kueha Kyung Kyung. Hehe Kyungi will protect Dad, Kyungi's Destruction Fist. Theo, Iona, and Kyungi, who had already adapted to the land of destruction, wiped them out. Then Black Tower's lucky legendary merchant Park Theo has defeated a small thread snake parasitizing corrupted destruction. You have received 5 million experience points, which is 50% of the experience gained by Park Theo. Advanced Herbalist Park Kyungi has defeated a small thread snake parasitizing corrupted destruction. Experience gain messages appeared before Sejun. A small thread snake parasitizing corrupted destruction. Why is the name so long for a mere mob? And this is a small thread snake. It's over 2 meters long. Sejun tilted his head, puzzled at the name that didn't match its appearance. But do they not give money? He listened carefully, trying to hear the sound of tower coins dropping, but no clear metallic sound reached his ears. It was because the dead snakes reverted into the energy of destruction. Sejun clicked his tongue in disappointment. Everyone fighting. He held Blackie's 2 front paws and shook them to cheer on the group. Kilahit Kaying. Hee, Hyung's fighting. Great Blackie can do it too, but I'm giving you Hyungs a chance. Blackie also shouted out confidently to cheer them on. Kayak. Gulp gulp. Fortunately, thanks to the energy of creation emitted by the destruction devourers surrounding them, no snakes approached the 2 sunfishes and only made threatening noises, leaving the 2 of them safe and focused solely on cheering. For 10 minutes, Sejun and his group, along with Emila and Amur, roamed the area and took down the snakes. Because to Blackie we'll head off first, please take these with you. Looks like I'll have to meet corruption another time. Feeling a bit regretful about not encountering corruption, Sejun handed over 100 destruction devourers to Emila and Amur and got ready to leave. Puhuhut, great job, meow. Kaiwat, thank you. Kyung, good work. Kilahit Kaying. Hee, you guys, great Blackie is watching, so work hard. The 2 were left behind as Sejun and the others departed. Heb. Thanks to the destruction devourers, their survival time increased from 1 hour to a full day. Emilanim, I think things got worse. Yeah. Emila and Amur, envious of Sejun who had left early, spent the whole day fighting snakes. You have arrived at the 99th floor of the Black Tower. As Sejun and his party returned. Pio. Sejun nim Theonim hello. Yuiha hello. Moiha hello. Nying Nyong. Pibogbog. Jack. Piat Urin, Poyo, Ching Niang, Hukbuk, and Jiakbai, who were waiting in front of the portal, greeted them. Kyle Ung. Beektang, who had been playing on Sejun's lap in dreams until now and hadn't even formulated a plan to reclaim the real Sejun's knee in reality, also woke up. And then, Kyung. Charge for now. Scurry. Beektang ran towards Sejun's knee and went for a frontal assault. Sejun Nim's lap is so warm and nice. This time I might beat Theo Hyung, Kayahe. Recalling the feeling from the dream, he was still half dazed by the dream. Huck, were you aiming for Chairman Park's knee, meow? Of course Theo, who guarded Sejun's knee, wouldn't just let Beektang get away with it. Piag. Kairong. As a consequence of aiming for Sejun's knee, Beektang got smacked in the back of the head by Theo and was forced back into a dream. However, Puhuhut, great hybrid Chairman Park's knee belongs to me, Vice Chairman Theo, meow. No, Theo Hyung, get out of my dream. Sejun Nim's knee is mine. Puhuhut, no way, meow. This time, Beektang even had a nightmare of losing Sejun's knee to Theo inside the dream. While Beektang was knocked out by Theo. Sorry, it's just a small party, so I didn't invite you. Do you have anything you want to eat? After hearing why Piat and Urin were waiting here, Sejun apologized and asked. Pio. I want to eat roasted peanuts while sitting on Theo Nim's front paw. Got it, I'll tell Theo. Puhuhut. Yuihe, I want braised slime short ribs. I'll add some rice cakes to the braised short ribs. That makes it even more delicious. Yueha, thank you. Piat and Urine said what they wanted to eat. Mohiha, I want Urine Nim's special misfortune. Poyo also said what he wanted to eat, but that's not allowed. Moaned. Sejun cut it off. Urine's special misfortune, just the thought of it was terrifying. Wait just a moment. Sejun went into the kitchen and had Sejun number 12 start cooking. A short while later. Pushut Piat eat a lot meow. Pio? Yes. Peg peg peg. Theo lay sprawled across Sejun's lap, holding Piat with his right front paw as Piat pecked at peanuts, and Theo happily licked up the churu Sejun gave him. Kuiha. Yuhiha. Kyungi and Urine sat in front of a large bowl filled with braised slime short ribs and diligently picked up meat and rice cakes to eat. And Sejun and the rest of the group also ate. Is Beektang sick or something? Sejun looked worriedly at Beektang, who was groaning in his sleep, and tore off a bit of the yolk from his egg fruit yolk and placed it into Beektang's mouth. Then, choo-choo. Beektang slowly ate the yolk as if savoring the taste. Haha, so cute. As Sejun continued placing small bits of yolk into Beektang's mouth. Chairman Park, give me some yolk too, meow. HM, Vice Chairman Theo, you don't usually eat this, right? That's not true, meow. I want to eat it now, meow. Overwhelmed with jealousy, Theo began eating the yolk just to draw Sejun's attention back to him. After the meal ended, Sejun headed to the brewery, because the alcohol was almost gone. I'll just brew a little this afternoon and rest. Being exposed to the energy of destruction in the land of destruction had taken a hidden toll on his body, so he felt tired. However, contrary to his plans, Sejun ended up brewing much more than he expected. As he started moving, his condition improved, and he got excited and worked harder. Somehow I ended up working too hard. Sejun muttered, half complaining as he looked at the brewery filled with jars of liquor, but his voice was full of pride. Once the brewing was done, Sejun left the brewery and headed to the kitchen. It was time to prepare dinner. And then, all right, let's see who wins. Start. Kueha Kyung. Heiha, Dad, victory obviously belongs to Kyungi. Yueha, this time I'll win. That evening, Sejun held a food fight competition for Kyungi and Urine. He wanted to make sure they ate properly, especially after seeing them competitively devour the braised slime short ribs during lunch. And so, Kyungi and Urine each began eating the mountain-like piles of rice cakes, braised slime short ribs, and chocolate cake in front of them. Kueha Kyung. Heiha, rice cake is delicious. Kyungi started by dipping his favorite rice cake into kudzu honey and digging in. Yueha, meat is the best. Urine began with the braised slime short ribs. Meanwhile, Sejun and the rest of the group also enjoyed their dinner happily. And then, Kilahit Kaying. Hee, Butler, Great Blackie wants to join the food fight too. Give me 100 pieces of extremely delicious royal honey sweet potatoes. Blackie boldly declared his entry into the food fight competition. I'll eat roasted and dried sweet potatoes until I'm stuffed. His scheme was painfully obvious, but sure. Sejun gladly handed over 100 pieces of roasted and dried sweet potato. He knew there was no way Blackie could eat them all anyway. A short while later. Chomp chomp. Keikirorong. Blackie fell asleep after eating 4.5 pieces of extremely delicious royal honey sweet potatoes. Haha, pathetic sunfish. Pathetic sunfish. Sejun looked smugly at the even more pathetic sunfish Blackie. And then, meow, Chairman Park's face looks rotten, meow. The loyal cat Park Theo, most sensitive to Sejun's smug expressions, reacted immediately. A hup stepped gently. No can do, meow. I must completely stomp out the rotten energy, meow. Sejun became humble once again today, after having his face stepped on ruthlessly by Theo. Hey, stepping on my nose is crossing the line. What if my nose bridge gets lower? Pew Hut, Chairman Park's nose bridge is already low, meow. It is not. With Sejun and Theo bickering, night deepened on the 99th floor of the Black Tower. Chapter 714, Butler, I'm sorry. Blackie's mental world. Oh, you've grown again already. At Sejun's words, Ultramini Chairman Park No. 4 puffed out his chest with pride and wore a smug expression. No, he had now grown to the length of an arm, so instead of Ultramini, Mini was more fitting. Having been acknowledged by Sejun, Mini Chairman Park No. 4 happily leaned his head towards Sejun. All right. Pad. Sejun patted Mini Chairman Park No. 4 on the head. Mini Chairman Park No. 4 had his face. Sejun felt a slight sense of actually raising a child. No, I'm already raising a child. Hazeli. Sejun smiled foolishly as he recalled Kyungi raising his arms in victory with a happy expression after beating urine before bed. Kyungi's lips when he smiles look just like mine. On top of that, he likes my mom's kimchi stew. Thinking about the things he had in common with Kyungi, Sejun continued to pat Mini Chairman Park No. 4's head and then said, Guys, please eat this and forgive them. Puhu Hut, please forgive us after eating this fish and churu meow. Kaiwat. Please choose whichever flavor of the 2 peanut varieties you like and forgive young Blackie. I'm really sorry. We're sorry. Sejun and his party companions to the souls. A moment later. Rumble. As always, corruption appeared without fail. Oh, you came, hi. HMPH. Corruption responded bluntly to Sejun's greeting, but in Corruption's eyes, the joy could not be hidden. After greeting Corruption like that, Sejun. But you didn't send the ogres or the planet-destroying turtles today. Haha. Was it really because I told you not to? He teased Corruption with a sly voice, and, What are you talking about? It's not because you told me not to, I just didn't feel like sending them. At Sejun's words, Corruption immediately got flustered and shouted loudly. However, got it, if not then not, why are you getting angry? No, I wasn't getting angry. At Sejun's reply, Corruption hurriedly lowered her voice. She didn't want to be hated by Sejun. By the way, I went to the land of destruction today. Didn't you see me? When Sejun mentioned, he had gone to the land of destruction today. I didn't see you. Corruption answered while avoiding Sejun's gaze. Really? Then where are you, Corruption? What? Why are you curious about that? Corruption became serious at Sejun's question. If Sejun came to where she was, it would be dangerous. No, it would be instant death. Come on, tell me, I'll come visit you later. As Sunfish, Sejun kept asking about her location. No, absolutely not. We part ways here today. You'll die if you come. Corruption hastily declared their parting, because if Sejun kept pressing, she felt like she would end up answering. Fine. How petty, I'll definitely find you. Since Corruption was drawing up power and causing damage to the surroundings, Sejun and Theo dealt with Corruption using Siobam. After finishing off Corruption, Sejun and his party apologized again. You have completely eliminated the corruption within the world's energy and completed the purified world's energy. You have completed the quest. As a quest completion reward, all stats have increased by 8. As a quest completion reward, the 0th floor stay fee has decreased by 0.00011%. Sejun welcomed the morning as he received the quest rewards. The total reduced stay fee so far was 78.30201%. It seemed like it would soon hit 100%, but reducing the remaining 22% was extremely difficult. Should I ask Corruption to get rid of it? If he asked Corruption to remove the remnants of corruption in the world's energy, he could easily complete the quest and reduce the stay fee quickly. But, no, that would be putting the cart before the horse. This was something being done so the Blackie family could pay for their sins. The moment he focused on the quest reward, the Blackie family's apology was diminished. Smack. Park Sejun, get a grip. Sejun slapped both his cheeks hard with his palms. Meow. Kaying. He got up, gathering his companions. And then, clank, he opened the void storage and began his morning, as usual, by hunting calamities. 3 hours later, Sejun, having finished his work on the 10th floor, arrived at Camule Disiong. Pioneers assemble. Kaya Kaya. He called the destruction pioneers. Now spit out the seeds. As Sejun held out his palm and said this. Tui Tui. The destruction pioneers spat out 2 seeds into Sejun's hand. Since it took planting 1 million destruction devourer seeds to produce just 2, the amount wasn't much. Good work, guys. Sejun patted the destruction pioneers' heads in praise after they spat out the seeds, then collected about 1,000 seeds and planted them in the ground. From today on, Sejun planned to focus on planting destruction pioneer seeds. That's because he had to harvest destruction pioneers 100 million times in order to create destruction pioneer seeds through seed creation. If the destruction pioneer seeds could sprout in the land of destruction, then even without Sejun, the destruction pioneers would be able to plant destruction devourer seeds 24 hours a day. That way, the number of destruction devourers could increase more quickly, and the energy of destruction spreading through the land of destruction could be removed. Hugh Hut, I'm the one saving the world. Park Sejun, guardian of peace. Hezeli. Sejun grinned smugly, imagining himself saving the world. Meow. Theo quickly placed his front paw on Sejun's face to block him from getting too smug. Get your paw off. As Sejun spoke with his face muffled under Theo's paw. Killahit Kaying Kaying. Hee Butler's face is rotten, let's stomp on it. Clueless about the mood, Blackie jumped on Sejun's face and eagerly stomped away. Blackie had just woken up and was in an excellent mood. However, Kaying, Butler, let's talk this out instead. At the cost of being too cheerful, Blackie had his cheek pinched and was left dangling by Sejun. After planting the destruction pioneer seeds, Sejun and his party returned to the Black Tower. Whoosh! He used the portal scroll to open a portal to the temple of the Creator God and entered. Then, let's go. He spoke while looking at Emila and Amur, who had returned 6 hours ago and were resting. Are you going again? Going again. The two were shocked by Sejun's words. When Emila and Amur went to the land of destruction, they usually fought until they were near death, so the aftereffects were severe. Their method was to rest for at least a week after a trip there. But, yes, we're going again. Sejun was different. His style was to do a reasonable amount every day without overdoing it. All right. Fine. As apostles of the Creator God, Emila and Amur couldn't let Sejun, who was assisting the Creator God's work, go alone. They quickly readied their gear and headed to the land of destruction with Sejun's party. Then we'll go scout the surroundings. Go on. Upon arriving at the waypoint, Emila and Amur immediately began surveying the area for any dangers. Seed creation. Sejun created and planted 100 destruction devourer seeds. Meanwhile, chomp, thud, kicky. Blackie was fiercely fighting the 100 destruction devourers that had been planted the day before, biting and smacking them. A short while later, Killahit Kaying. You guys lost to Great Blackie, so now you're Great Blackie's subordinates. Kicky. The destruction devourers acknowledged Blackie as their leader. Then, Kaying. Where did you guys spit out your seeds? Guide your great leader Blackie there. For once, Blackie was earning his keep. I should ask the butler to trade 1 seed for 1 roasted and dried extremely delicious royal honey sweet potato. He had a plan all along. Heh, Blackie, do you really think you're in a position to make deals with me right now? Squeeze. Kaying. Butler, I'm sorry. That was until he got his cheek pinched and dangled by Sejun. After thoroughly kneading Blackie's cheek fat, Sejun. Instead, if you manage the destruction devourers so they don't spit seeds anywhere else from now on, I'll give you one extremely delicious royal honey sweet potato. He offered another deal. Kilahit kaying. He, okay, butler, great Blackie will do his best. Blackie accepted immediately. Kaying. Guys, spit the seeds here from now on. Tui tui tui. Tui tui tui. Following Blackie's orders, the destruction devourers began spitting seeds next to the waypoint. Where did you guys spit them out? Kiki. Sejun followed around the destruction devourers that had already spat out seeds and collected them to plant. As the destruction devourers usually spat out 3 to 5 seeds each, Sejun was able to plant about 400 more of them. As a result, a total of 600 destruction devourers began absorbing the energy of destruction, greatly reducing the corrupt energy around the waypoint, and Blackie's survival time increased to 1 hour, while Sejun's increased to 8 hours. Then, what? A week. Emila and Amur, who returned after patrolling the area, were stunned by their greatly increased survival time. When do we get off work? In a bad way. 1 hour later. Then we'll get going now. Sejun, who had spent an hour searching the area for corruption, matched Blackie's clock-out time and gathered his companions to return to the Black Tower. Since making loud noises would attract the surrounding snakes, he couldn't call corruption out loudly. Once Sejun and his group left, let's wrap up and get off work too. Yes. Realizing that keeping up with Sejun's pace meant not overdoing it, Emila and Amur cleared out the snakes again and clocked out earlier than usual. The next day. Then we'll get going now. The number of destruction devourers had increased to 2,500, raising Blackie's survival time to 5 hours, but Sejun still left after just 1 hour. Since there was nothing else to do except planting destruction devourer seeds, staying more than an hour was a waste of time. He wanted to go farther and look for corruption, but beyond 5 km from the waypoint was another world. The energy of destruction was so toxic even Peace Beast struggled with it, so Sejun didn't even dare to approach. Another day passed. Seed creation. Arriving in the land of destruction, Sejun opened his mouth with a confident look. Please select the seed to create. Destruction Devourer Seed. Destruction Pioneer Seed. Destruction Pioneer Seed have been added to the seed list. Today, after harvesting Destruction Pioneer seeds at the Camule Disiong, he had finally reached 100 million harvests. Create 95 Destruction Devourer seeds and 5 Destruction Pioneer seeds. Since one Destruction Pioneer could plant about 7,000 seeds a day, Sejun only created 5 of them. A moment later. Kiki. Tui tui tui. Kaya. The Destruction Pioneers, having collected the seeds spat out by the Destruction Devourers, began planting and germinating them in the ground. Now, he wouldn't have to come every day for a while. Sejun was pleased looking at the destruction farm that was running automatically. There were just 4 weeks left, so now it was time to start preparing for the perfect party. She'll definitely love it, right? Sejun smiled slyly, imagining Aileen smiling brightly 4 weeks later. And, from now on, the secret operation for Aileen's birthday party begins. He gathered his companions and began the strategy meeting for the birthday party of Aileen, whose birthday was May 5th. However, Hut, Great Hybrid Chairman Park, then we can't tell Aileen Nuna we're preparing a birthday party, right, meow? Of course not, it's a secret. Hut got it, meow. Kyung. Then we also can't tell her we're preparing a birthday present, right? Yeah, you can't. Kilahit Kaying. Butler. I'm going to tell Aileen Nuna that Great Blackie is preparing a birthday party. You punk, what did you just say? You're not supposed to tell. It seemed like he needed to worry about security first. Chapter 715. How dare you refuse me twice? 99th floor of the Black Tower. Flab. Puahiti, brother-in-law Sis is sleeping. The statue of the spy dragon Ace, who had been recruited to secretly monitor Aileen, flew to Sejun and reported Aileen's status. Originally, Aileen should have been entering a hibernation period, but dragons, hibernation usually lasts for over 100 years. If Aileen entered full hibernation, by the time she woke up, Sejun might no longer be of this world. So Aileen was taking intermittent naps of 1 to 3 hours instead. She could sleep longer, but based on the experiences of her ancestors who had segmented their sleep, there was a high probability of falling into deep hibernation if she slept for over 5 hours. Thanks, baby brother-in-law. Here, eat this. Sejun handed the Yongari chicken to Ace, who had delivered the report. Puahiti, brother-in-law, thank you. Nom nom. Ace happily munched on the Yongari chicken Sejun gave him while watching over the sleeping Aileen. He needed to inform Sejun when she woke up. Baby brother-in-law, if you get sleepy, eat this too. To prevent Ace from getting sleepy, Sejun also prepared popcorn. He prepared 4 flavors: salty, caramel, strawberry, and churro flavor. For reference, the churro-flavored popcorn was only popular with Theo, Kyungi, and Bigtang, but it was made to complete the lineup. While Aileen was asleep, Sejun prepared for Aileen's birthday party. Vice Chairman Theo, get more chocolate bricks. Puhut, got it, meow. Mud Nim. Great Hybrid Chairman Park needs chocolate bricks, meow. Hurry and give us chocolate bricks, meow. Following Sejun's order, Theo raised his arms to the sky and called out to Mud. A designated quest has been issued by Sejun Company's Vice Chairman Park Theo. The designated target is Mud, the god of mud. Mud received the designated quest. Refusal will lead to impeachment. A quest that couldn't be refused. It was System SJC that learned by watching what Sejun and Theo did. It seemed to have been influenced badly. Shortly after, Puhut, Chairman Park, Mudnim sent the chocolate bricks, meow. When Theo pulled out 100,000 chocolate bricks from his bag, Sejun quickly melted them and made sweet chocolate cake and chocolate brownies that Aileen liked. Plec savime. Savime plec. Plec savime. Hug. Written on the chocolate bricks were Mud's desperate rescue messages, but are you even putting patterns on chocolate bricks now? Mudnim is working way too hard. Sejun didn't realize it. 1 hour later. Brother-in-law, she's awake. Ace, who had been happily munching on the mixed salty and caramel-flavored popcorn, quickly shouted to Sejun. Nuna, mom's calling. Her mom is. Ace prevented Aileen from seeing the crystal orb. Since the first thing she did after waking was check the orb to look at Sejun, they needed to buy some time. Guys, hide it quickly. Puhut, got it, meow. Kaiwat, yes. Kyung. Taking advantage of the time Ace bought, Sejun quickly hid the work he had done with Theo, Iona, and Kyungi in a secret spot tucked into a corner of the void storage. They had to hide it well, since Aileen could also see inside the void storage. And then, Kilahit Kaying. Hee butler, Great Blackie will hide it by eating it. Why are you trying to eat that? Kaying. I was trying to help. Blackie got scolded by Sejun again for trying to make the food disappear into his belly. Thus, Ace had bought time for Sejun. Me, I didn't call you. Ace, how dare you lie to your Nuna? Pugug. As a result of lying to Aileen, he got a bump on his head. Brother-in-law, I didn't say anything. Puahiti. He felt proud for keeping the secret with Sejun. All right, then shall I go harvest some carrots now? Stretching widely as if nothing had happened, Sejun headed to the carrot field to harvest carrots. And then, it's been a fulfilling day. Evening came. That was really hectic. Sejun opened his mouth with a tired voice, reflecting on what had happened earlier. Sejun. Just as Sejun was about to eat lunch, the great brown dragon Grave Renma flew in, calling out Sejun's name. Renmanim, what's going on? Sejun, it's a big problem. Today is the day of the great dragons meeting. Today was the 6th meeting of the dragons, but he had completely forgotten. He had been exhausted from working at the temple of the Creator God, and then, after returning, had been resting. Because of that, not only Grave but also the other leaders had completely slipped his mind. On the day of the meeting, when things were unusually quiet, the other great brown dragons came to Grave and asked, "Meeting preparations. Of course, everything's ready. I was just heading to Sejun to get the food." Panicked Grave hurriedly flew to Sejun. He couldn't possibly tell the eagerly waiting brown dragons that he had forgotten. If he did, there might be a revolt. What? That's right. At Grave's words, Sejun, who had been busy lately, also remembered. Just wait a moment. Fortunately, Sejun had plenty of ingredients from slaying many calamities recently, so he immediately started preparing food with Sejun number 12. Phew, done in just 10 hours. Sejun wore a satisfied expression. Everyone, let's eat. Sejun ate a late dinner with his group and immediately laid down on the bed. Then, let's sleep for just 3 hours and apologize. Snorri. After saying that to the group, he fell asleep right away. It had been a tiring day due to all the food preparation. Keikirorong. Iamorong. As Sejun fell asleep, the Blackie family lay on Sejun's chest and fell asleep right away too. However, Meow Chairman Park is weak. This is serious, Meow. Kaiwat, I know. Theo and Iona couldn't fall asleep right away out of concern for Sejun. Press. Theo massaged Sejun's face to relieve his fatigue. He wanted to burn money generously, but lately, all of Sejun's funds were being managed by Aileen, leaving him with none to burn. Thanks to Theo, Sejun had been forcibly broken of his habit of creating emergency stashes. O power of magic, gently embrace this tired body and ease the weariness, breath of recovery. Iona also relieved Sejun's fatigue with her magic. After a little while, Gorarong, Kurarong. Theo and Iona, having helped Sejun recover, settled on Sejun's lap and fell sound asleep. Blackie's mental world. The apology that started later than usual, as Sejun slept for 3 hours. Guraruk. Why are you late? I've been waiting. I thought something terrible had happened. The moment corruption appeared, she expressed her joy with an angry outburst. Well, I was a bit tired, but wait, did we even make a plan to meet? As corruption spoke as if it were a given, Sejun wondered if he had actually made any such promise with corruption. Well, not exactly, but don't you have any manners toward your enemy? You were late for our duel. Corruption answered in fluster. All right, I get it. I won't be late next time. Duel time, you could have just said you were waiting. Sejun held back a laugh and tried to appease corruption. HMPH. Corruption responded curtly to Sejun's words, but perhaps the promise not to be late again pleased her, as the corners of corruption's mouth lifted slightly. Here, try this. Sejun offered corruption a chocolate-coated peanut ball. It was a new creation. Since Kyungi and Iona had given it high praise, Sejun thought peanut-loving corruption would like it too. What is this? Crunch. Corruption chewed the bite-sized peanut chocolate balls. And then, delicious, no, I mean it's edible. She barely swallowed the words trying to come out and spoke in the coldest voice she could manage. But, haha, of course, something I made couldn't taste bad. Sejun was convinced corruption liked it. Despite corruption's cold voice, her lips and eyes were smiling brightly. So dishonest, or maybe she just doesn't know how to be honest. Crunch. Without saying a word, Sejun quietly watched corruption happily munching on the peanut choco balls. Won't you come with me? If you come to my house, you can eat this every day. Using the peanut choco balls as bait, Sejun subtly reached out his hand and made a light suggestion. At Sejun's words, corruption's grotesque hand, which had been reaching for the peanut choco balls, froze midair. I don't want to. After a short pause, corruption finally responded. Second confession, second rejection. How dare you refuse me twice? Determined, Sejun made up his mind to bring an even tastier peanut dish next time. Part ways for today. With that, Sejun defeated corruption using the combo attack with Theo, and morning arrived. Land of destruction. I want to go. Corruption sighed as she looked at her grotesque hand. She wanted to hold Sejun's hand and go with him, but there was no way to stay by Sejun's side. There were several issues, but the biggest was still Sejun's weakness. I'd even be happy just to see him. Corruption pondered a way Sejun could approach without getting hurt. At that moment, Pika, a mental fragment peeked its head out from a corner, spying on corruption. Hut right, those guys were still around. Upon seeing the mental fragment, corruption came up with a good idea. And then, chomp! It darted over in a flash and snatched up the mental fragment. Eek, please spare me. Hut, I won't kill you. Gulp! Swallowed in one bite. Having swallowed the mental fragment, corruption transferred a portion of her power into it. Pop! Then sent it back out. Hut, now where are the others? Corruption began eagerly searching for the other mental fragments it had deliberately left alone until now. Morning on the 99th floor of the Black Tower. A week had passed since Sejun began preparing for Aileen's birthday party. And I'm here. Hut, I'm here too, meow. Kaiwat, hello. Today, Sejun brought only Theo and Iona with him to the temple of the creator god. Hyungi had gone to work, and Peacebees and the Blackie family were still sleeping in bed. Now that he thought about it, this was the perfect place to do things secretly. Here, Aileen couldn't see anything, and he could also leave the children behind. May 5th was not only Aileen's birthday, but also Children's Day. While preparing for the birthday party, Sejun was also getting gifts ready for the children, Hyungi, Peacebees, and Ace. Blackie is what to do. When facing someone older, Blackie claimed to be 30,000 years old. When needing to be younger, he insisted he was 1 year old since he was reborn with a new name. Blackie had an ultra-high elastic rubber band age. Well, there wasn't much to prepare anyway. As long as there were extremely delicious royal honey sweet potatoes, everything was solved for Blackie, so Sejun didn't worry too much. Depending on the situation, if Blackie stayed quiet, he wouldn't get any. If he made a fuss, he'd get one. Like giving an extra rice cake to the loud kid, Sejun planned to give one more sweet potato slice to the noisy one. First, I should go plant some seeds in the land of destruction. Sejun briefly dropped by the land of destruction and used seed creation to plant 100 destruction pioneer seeds. As the number of destruction devourers multiplied fourfold daily, they now produced around 1 million seeds per day. He had to increase the number of destruction pioneers to speed up the spread of destruction devourers. With Emila and Amur cleaning up the surroundings, the area near the waypoint was completely safe. Poke. As Sejun was planting seeds. Kiki. Kaya. The area suddenly grew noisy. What's going on? When Sejun headed toward the source of the commotion. Far away, a boy who looked around 2 years old was lying naked on the ground. But the overwhelming energy emitted by the boy prevented Sejun from getting closer. Meow. Even though Theo was doing his best to absorb the energy, it was only thanks to him that Sejun didn't lose consciousness. At that moment, title, one who witnessed the birth of the beginning, identifies the essence of the being. Sejun's eyes turned golden as the title activated, and the pressure bearing down on him significantly diminished. And then, child of creation tainted by destruction. A child with the power of creation has been tainted by destruction, making his personality wicked. If left to grow as is, he will become a being that brings about the end of the world. Sejun could now see the true identity of the child. Chapter 716. Are you still curious about where I am? Land of destruction. Is it good? Nod. To Sejun's question, The child eating the rice cake nodded vigorously. And then, he really does have a nasty personality. Looking at the child, Sejun recalled the earlier situation. Sejun, Theo, and Yona had found the child. Yona, please call either Emilanim or Amurnim. Kaiwat, Kaiwat, Kaiwat. Yes, power of light. Yona exploded a light into the sky to send a signal. Moments later, Sejun, what happened? Are you hurt? Sejun, you're not injured, are you? The two apostles of the Creator God rushed over, worried about Sejun. I'm fine. More importantly, please take a look at that child. A child? Why is there a child here? Amila and Amur discovered a naked boy in the direction Sejun pointed. Huh? The two were greatly flustered upon finding the child, as they could faintly sense the energy of the Creator God from him. So they approached the child, examined him, and hurriedly dressed him. However, during the process of putting clothes on him, the child woke up and bang, crash, crash. Perhaps angry at being awakened, the child clumsily stood up and flailed his arms, attacking them. It was a ferocious strength unfitting for such acute movement. Although the child was strong, his combat skills were poor, so the two waited for an opportunity and subdued him by binding his arms and torso tightly with chains made from the power of creation. Ikvika. When the child couldn't move as he pleased. Waya. The child began to bawl and sob. At that moment, stop crying. If you don't cry, I'll give you this. Sejun, a master at taking care of children, stepped forward. Then, sniff. What's that? Is it food? Gulp. The child stopped crying and stared intently at the rice cake Sejun had brought as a snack, drooling. Every time the rice cake moved up and down, the child's pupils followed it. As expected, a child is still a child. There was no resisting food. Emilanim. Got it. Since Sejun couldn't approach the child, Emila handed the rice cake to the child on his behalf. Munch, munch. Oh, it's tasty. The child eagerly ate the rice cake and plop. Give me more. Before they knew it, the child had eaten an entire rice cake as long as himself and arrogantly stretched out his hand. Seems like he understands words, but can he also speak? You have to say please. To find out if the child could speak, Sejun held the rice cake without giving it, prompting the child to speak. With a sulky expression, the child glared at Sejun, emanating energy to express his displeasure. However, Huck, 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 how dare you threaten Great Hybrid Chairman Park, meow. There was also a very displeased cat on this side, and the opponent was unfortunate. Theo was the kind of cat who would hit anyone, regardless of age or gender. Thwack. Theo moved instantly with light speed meow step and smacked the back of the child's head. Why did you hit me? The child looked toward Theo, who had already returned to Sejun's lap, with aggrieved eyes and Waya burst into tears again. Guwo. A massive energy began to press down on the surroundings. And then, Buffy. As Sejun struggled against the energy, the child emitted. Thwack. Stop crying, meow. Chairman Park is struggling, meow. Theo smacked the back of the child's head again. What did I even do wrong? Why hit me again? The child felt extremely wronged, but held back the tears. He didn't want to get hit again. Once the child stopped crying, Vice Chairman Theo give him this. Pew Hugh Hut understood, meow. Here, eat this, meow. Theo put the rice cake Sejun gave him into the child's mouth. The one who hits me is scary. The one who gives me food is nice. Thus, fear of Theo and affection for Sejun grew rapidly in the child's mind. Munch, munch. The child quickly devoured the second rice cake. Swoosh. Give me more. This time he politely extended both hands. It was an instinctive gesture. And then, Pewis. He began to imitate what Sejun had said earlier. Has that good? Sejun handed the rice cake to Theo. Pew Hugh Hut, be grateful to the Great Hybrid Chairman Park as you eat, meow. Theo made a big deal out of it and put the rice cake into the child's mouth. Munch, munch. Cheoman. The child mimicked the word that stood out the most to him while eating the rice cake. Chairman Park, meow. Cheoman Pack. No, meow, it's Chairman Park, meow. Chairman Park. Sejun's title grew increasingly strange. Can't you say it properly, meow? As Theo raised his voice, the child instantly froze. Vice Chairman Theo, don't disturb him while he's eating. Come back. Puhu Hut understood, meow. Sejun called Theo back. Munch, munch. And the child focused on eating again. A little while later. Pewis. The child extended his tiny hands again. How cute. Haha, if you dip this, it tastes even better. As Sejun took out some honey and said so. Dip Pewis. The phrase now came out automatically. Sejun smiled and handed over a rice cake generously dipped in honey. Just like that, the child ate about 10 rice cakes and fell asleep soundly. He tightly clutched a rice cake he hadn't finished yet in his hand. He's really like Blackie. Sejun decided to treat the child as if he were 1 year old, just like Blackie. What did age matter? He acted like a baby anyway. Emilanim, what should we do about this child? Sejun looked at the peacefully sleeping child and asked Emila for her opinion. Well, for now, I think we'll have to take him and talk with the Creator God. All right, just in case, I'll leave the rice cakes and honey here. At Emila's answer, Sejun left the child in Emila and Amur's care and returned to the Creator God's temple. The two planned to register the waypoint and bring the child to the Creator God once he woke up. Thus, Sejun departed from the desolate land of destruction. The scent of honey left behind by Sejun spread throughout the barren, desolate land of destruction. And then, smells yummy. A child who appeared to be about 1 year old toddled toward the waypoint. Creator God's temple. That's enough for today. Sejun moved the food he had made to a stone building next to the Creator God's temple. Sejun had built the structure using his transcendent rock mage talent, and Iona had cast preservation magic, so the food inside was kept in its original state. Let's go. Puhu Hut understood, meow. Kaiwat, 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 yes. A few hours after Sejun, Theo and Iona had left. Munch, munch. Munch, munch. Emila and Amur arrived at the Creator God's temple with 2 children who were completely absorbed in eating rice cakes. They moved to the room where the Creator God resided and knock, knock, knock. Emila gently knocked on the door. Then, has Sejun left? The Creator God asked from beyond the door. Yes, and there are individuals you need to step out and see for a moment. Someone I need to see. Yes. Very well. Creak. The Creator God opened the door and stepped out. And then, seeing the children in Emila and Amur's arms, wholly engrossed in the rice cakes, the Creator God was overcome with emotion. It was that child, the one he had raised. Of course, it was different from that child back then, but traces of that child remained. Where did you find these children? We found them in the land of destruction. In the land of destruction. Yes, what should we do with them? The Creator God fell deep into thought. At that moment, Pewis, the child in Amur's arms, finished his rice cake and reached out his hand. No. When Amur refused. Hug, hug. Struggle, struggle. The child began to squirm, mimicking Theo's hissing, trying to escape Amur's arms. No. Amur quickly tightened his grip to keep the child from slipping out. Hug. No. A contest of strength began. And then, struggle, struggle. The child in Emila's arms also finished his rice cake and began to flail. Pewis Hawk. Seeing the older brother in Amur's arms, the other child began to imitate him. Give them to me, I'll hold them. They used to follow me well. The Creator God received the children from the two and held one in each arm, rocking them gently to soothe them, but hug, hug, thump, thump. The children kicked the Creator God with their feet. Hey, that's not acceptable. The Creator God spoke in a stern voice, but hug, 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 hug. The children, whose nature had become nasty after being tainted by the energy of destruction, rebelled even more. Or perhaps it was because of Theo. Or maybe it was their nasty personalities combined with learning Theo's behavior. Anyway, the kids had quite a temper. Ahem, bring out some more of those rice cakes they were eating earlier. As the children's rebellion became too much, the Creator God asked the two for more rice cakes. However, we already ran out. Sejun didn't leave that many. The rice cakes were already gone. Then when is Sejun coming? He should be here tomorrow. What tomorrow? Hug, hug, thump, thump. We have to watch these kids until tomorrow. The Creator God and the two apostles sank into despair. 99th floor of the Black Tower. Kaying. Butler, how could you go somewhere without Great Blackie? You should have taken Great Blackie with you. Wanna get scolded. As Sejun returned, Blackie, who had woken up and wandered the farm looking for Sejun, barked noisily. Blackie, are you the one who wants to get scolded? Of course, he was all bark and no bite. Kaying. Run away. At Sejun's words, Blackie immediately tucked his tail and fled to the sweet potato field. Time to prep dinner. Leaving Blackie behind, Sejun headed to the kitchen. Butler's cooking. Peeking his head out from the sweet potato field, Blackie watched secretly and then followed Sejun quietly to the kitchen. A moment later. Kyung. Hehe, Dad, Kyungi's back. Here are some herbs. Kyungi, who returned from the herb field, handed Sejun 5 turmeric roots, 100-day-old guardian turmeric. Turmeric that has grown for 100 days in the Black Tower, cultivated by an advanced herbalist, with greatly enhanced medicinal properties. When consumed, all stats increase by 10, and a protective guardian energy envelops the body for 24 hours. Cultivator, Advanced Herbalist Kyungi. Shelf life 100 days. Grade A. Guardian Energy. Sejun was a bit curious, but didn't get his hopes up. He'd been disappointed too many times before. I'll just use it later to make curry. After putting the turmeric away. You did great, my son. Pad. Sejun praised Kyungi while hugging and patting his butt. Then, Hud. He. Theo and Blackie subtly presented their bottoms. All right. Pad. Sejun gave both Theo and Blackie plenty of butt pats before finally freeing his hands. By then, dinner prepared by Sejun number 12 was ready. Guys, let's eat dinner. Chairman Park, there's no grilled fish or stir-fried peanuts for me and Iona, meow. I'll make them now. Now you want me to make your girlfriend's food too. Amused by the situation, Sejun chuckled to himself as he grilled fish and stir-fried peanuts. And then, here, it's all done, let's eat. Everyone had a cheerful and delicious dinner together. I'm full. After finishing dinner, Sejun and the group rested while gazing at the starry night sky. Time to lie down. He lay on the bed and entered Blackie's mental world. Sorry. I'm sorry. While apologizing like this, Gururuk. Corruption appeared once again today. Hello. Yes. Although still curt, Corruption properly responded to Sejun's greeting. You still curious about where I am? You're curious, right? Say you're curious. Corruption looked at Sejun with a burdening gaze as she asked. She had finally gained the confidence not to kill Sejun. Chapter 717. You're weaker than I thought. Land of Destruction. I'm not curious though. Sejun wanted to joke like that. You must be curious. No, you have to be curious. Corruption's fierce eyes glared at Sejun as if refusing any rejection. However, Sejun felt the fear hidden within corruption. Like a hedgehog that raised its spines high to avoid being hurt. So instead of joking, "Oh really, you're finally telling me, tell me quickly, I'm so curious." He made a fuss and played along with corruption's tune. And that was a masterstroke. What if Sejun had joked at this point? Sejun didn't really want to meet me after all. No one likes me, boo-hoo. Corruption would have closed the door to her heart in despair, moved again to destroy the world, and this time would not have stopped until the end. Just like before. Kyukuku, I knew you would be. In response to Sejun's reaction, corruption pretended to be nonchalant. But I was worried Sejun might say he wasn't curious. Phew, what a relief. Inwardly, she was greatly relieved. And then, my location is to the north. Corruption told Sejun where she was. That's going to be pretty tough. Sejun's face darkened slightly at Corruption's words. He thought they'd meet soon, but it was too far away. To reach Corruption, Sejun had to pass through 5 walls known as the Walls of Destruction, which were said to be walls densely condensed with destructive energy. And the distance between each wall was approximately 1,000 km. In other words, he would need to travel 5,000 km while breaking through the 5 walls of destruction, a long journey. For Sejun, who had just become able to roam around a 5 km radius of the waypoint, it was an even more perilous road. If Corruption came to Sejun directly, they could meet without this hardship, but the fear that Sejun might not welcome her kept Corruption from taking action. If Sejun was an extroverted sunfish, Corruption was an introverted one. And Corruption wanted to test whether Sejun truly wanted to meet her, even if it meant enduring such hardship. Thump, 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 thump. As she watched Sejun's darkening expression, Corruption's heart pounded with anxiety. What if Sejun says it's too far? Should I break down a few walls? She worried that Sejun might say he wouldn't come. Okay, just wait right there, but it's going to take some time. Contrary to Corruption's fears, Sejun said he would come find Corruption. Q Hut, come if you think you can. Corruption said with words she didn't mean. At that moment, here, eat this. Sejun handed a basket filled with peanut choco balls to Corruption, his eyes slightly expectant. And then, this is different from the one I had last time. After eating the peanut choco balls that Sejun gave, Corruption was amazed. How is it? When Sejun asked Corruption, what is this? It's cold and hard but very soft and delicious. Corruption answered in an excited voice, so excited she couldn't hide her emotions. Heh, this is my new dish, Park Sejun's chocolate peanut ice cream. It's made with frozen peanuts so it never melts at room temperature. The way I made it is by coating peanut ice cream with chocolate on the outside. While Sejun explained enthusiastically. Munch, munch. It's so tasty. Corruption busily kept eating the chocolate peanut ice cream. Crunch. The coated chocolate broke, and it was deliciously chewed along with the cold peanut ice cream inside. And then, crunch, crunch. The crushed peanuts embedded throughout the ice cream added to the texture and nutty flavor. As she kept eating like that, before long the basket was empty. How was it? Had an amazing flavor. It was so delicious. Ha, that's all because I made it. As Sejun made a smug expression. Meow, Chairman Park, what are you doing, meow? Your face is rotting, meow. Kaiwat, Sejun Nim, please fix your face quickly. Kaying. Butler, snap out of it. The companions rushed to Sejun's face in a hurry. And then, you're weaker than I thought. Corruption was horrified as she looked at Sejun, because she had just seen signs that his body's balance was collapsing and his body was about to crumble. Thank goodness, meeting later was the right call. At the same time, Corruption was relieved that it would take Sejun a long time to reach her. She needed time to weaken her own strength further. A little later. Goodbye. Yeah. Corruption disappeared after being struck by Siobam. And a week passed. All right. Sejun got up energetically, as usual today. Like always, he hunted calamities, had breakfast, stopped by the 10th floor of the tower in Kamyul-Deseong, and then headed to the temple of the Creator God. Of course, Kyungi went to work today too, while Peacebees and Blackie were sleeping in bed. Kaying, Butler, today Great Blackie is coming too. Blackie tried to resist sleep and insisted on going with Sejun, but after being fed to fullness and having his belly rubbed a little, Kirorong, he fell into a deep sleep immediately. If the bedroom curtains were drawn to block out sunlight, he absolutely wouldn't wake up for at least 5 hours. Hello. When Sejun arrived at the temple of the Creator God and greeted Emilia and Amur. Oh, Sejun is here, give me snacks. Amur sprang up and demanded snacks. Here you go. Knowing the routine, Sejun quickly took out rice cakes, roasted and dried sweet potatoes, corn, and so on. Sejun, we'll head over first. Yes. Sejun, Theo, and Iona followed Emilia to the waypoint and crossed over to the land of destruction. And then, knock, knock, knock. Amur knocked on the Creator God's door, holding the snacks Sejun had given. Since the door couldn't be opened with Sejun present, Emilia had gone ahead with him. A little while later, Kriak. The door opened cautiously. Where are the snacks? The disheveled-looking Creator God asked quietly. Here they are. Amur also answered quietly and handed over the snacks. All right, good work. The Creator God quietly closed the door. Good. No one woke up. He sighed in relief as he looked at the peacefully sleeping children. However, Flash. His relief was shattered by one of the children suddenly opening his eyes. Flash. Flash. As one opened his eyes, the others followed as if on cue. And then, Jib Fu. Jib. Jib Fu. The 3 children held out their hands, demanding food. Sejun had taken out one more child from the land of destruction. Here. It's fortunate I just received snacks. The Creator God placed one snack into each child's hand. However, not this. The children holding the rice cake suddenly shook their head in frustration. Huh, what do you mean? Ah, honey. There isn't any. Sejun had forgotten to pack honey. Dip Jib Fu. Just eat it plain today. I'll give you honey later. No, dip Jib Fu now. Because of that, the Creator God was left sweating as he tried to soothe the children. Land of destruction. So this is the wall of destruction. It's really huge. Sejun, who had traveled north for an hour from the waypoint, looked up and commented as he saw the towering, massive dark red wall stretching into the sky. Thanks to the destruction devourers working hard to clear a path north over the past week, Sejun was only now able to see the first wall of destruction. And then, chomp chomp chomp. Around him, approximately 1 trillion destruction devourers were diligently absorbing the energy of destruction. That number had decreased greatly due to the snakes' attacks, and originally there had been far more. In the past, the amount of energy of destruction that could be absorbed was not large, so it had been impossible for the destruction devourers to multiply exponentially like this. But this was the land of destruction, a place overflowing with energy to devour. Thus, the destruction devourers absorbed the energy of destruction and worked hard to spit out seeds. Sejun and the destruction pioneers planted those seeds diligently, and the number of destruction devourers increased rapidly. Honestly, there were too many seeds and not enough time to plant them, so a massive stockpile of seeds had built up. At that moment, wriggle, wriggle. Dark red snakes began to slither out from the wall of destruction. They had come to eliminate the destruction devourers that were clinging to the wall and absorbing its energy. Thread snake parasitizing corrupted destruction. Just the omission of the modifier small in front caused even the smallest ones to exceed 10 meters in length. Their girth also increased by about 1.5 times, and the largest thread snake reached nearly 30 meters. Meow 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 meow. Kaiwat, Kaiwat, Kaiwat. Power of the meteorite fall upon my enemies. Meteor. Of course, even so, they were just thread snakes, and Theo and Iona took care of them effortlessly. And then Black Tower's lucky legendary merchant Park Theo has defeated a thread snake parasitizing corrupted destruction. You have received 50 million experience points, which is 50% of the experience gained by Park Theo. Guard Iona has defeated a thread snake parasitizing corrupted destruction. Congratulations! You have leveled up. You have acquired 10 bonus stat points. Heather. Sejun watched their battle from behind with a pleased expression and leveled up. Sejun's level had now reached 233. It was thanks to diligently hunting every day on the Calamity Farm and in the Land of Destruction. While Sejun was leveling up and rejoicing. Kaya Kaya. Sejun Nim, there's no time to rest. The Destruction Pioneers urged him to plant seeds. Even though they were planting the piled-up seeds as quickly as possible, the seeds of the Destruction Devourers were being spat out even faster. Hetty, don't worry. That's why I brought this. Sejun pulled out a drop of the enhancing elixir he received from Hamer, the god of farming, this morning. Drip. He dropped it onto one Destruction Pioneer seed. Destruction Pioneer seed, +2. The magical cherry tomato of Park Sejun, the tower farmer of the Black Tower, evolved into a mutated cherry tomato under the influence of the elixir, then further corrupted by destruction to evolve into a flesh-eater seed. And now, with the power of destruction purified, it has evolved once again. It harbors an even greater hatred for the power of destruction than the Destruction Devourer. Although it cannot directly devour the power of destruction, it plants Destruction Devourer seeds to directly pioneer destruction. It has combat capabilities. Destruction Pioneers cannot plant their own seeds. It spits out 2 seeds for every 1 million Destruction Devourer seeds planted. Enhanced twice with the enhancing elixir. Grade SS. The Destruction Pioneer seeds options have changed. However, Sejun sighed while looking at the options. What he had hoped for, an increase in planting speed or number of seeds produced, was not enhanced. Instead, a different option had strengthened. Why did it have to be combat ability? And it only changed from some combat to simply combat. It seemed quite useless. The combat ability of Destruction Pioneers was only enough to deal with 1 or 2 red locusts. Just removing some wouldn't make much difference. Pogue. Sejun, disappointed, planted the Destruction Pioneer seed. Sprout. The +2 Destruction Pioneer grew quickly. The energy of creation produced by the Destruction Devourers was cancelled out by the energy of destruction, so no gathered energy of creation was left, and thus he couldn't evolve other Destruction Pioneers into +2 enhanced ones. And so the world saw the first +2 Destruction Pioneer. Shush. With roots moving too fast for Sejun's eyes to follow, it dashed toward a thread snake and started slicing the thread snake to pieces with its leaves. Is this what removing some did? Sejun was shocked by the sight. Meanwhile, 10,000 Destruction Devourers surrounded one Destruction Pioneer and burp. They breathed out the energy of creation directly onto the Destruction Pioneer. And then, Kiki. As the Destruction Pioneers absorbed the energy of creation, they began to be enhanced to +2 one by one. Thus, the +2 Destruction Pioneers began to join the battle. Even you guys. Seeing the Destruction Pioneers fighting better than himself, Sejun once again felt betrayed today. After 3 days passed like this. Rumble. The first wall of destruction collapsed. Chapter 718, Pew Hut. Chairman Park, do you not trust the golden front paw of Vice Chairman Theo? Meow. Land of Destruction. As the first wall of destruction collapsed, you have achieved the great primordial feat of being the first to bring down the wall of destruction erected in the Land of Destruction. A message announcing the achievement of a great primordial feat appeared before Sejun. A great primordial feat. He had received primordial feats before, but this was his first time receiving a great one. Heh, what kind of amazing reward will I get? As Sejun brimmed with anticipation, as a reward for the great primordial feat, you should be granted power, Judge of Destruction, but you are currently unable to receive it due to your current capability. Once again, System 371 spoiled the moment. Another unreasonable nerf. Whether the world is falling apart or not, I'll just impeach it. Perhaps sensing Sejun's frustration, I will hurriedly find another alternative. As JC, hurry up and find an alternative. Yes, System 371 NIM. System 371, in a rush, started collaborating with System SJC to divide the massive reward from the great primordial feat into more modest items that Sejun could receive. About 3 seconds passed like that. As a reward for the great primordial feat, you have been granted power, weak destruction resistance. As a reward for the great primordial feat, you have acquired the title, Wall Breaker. As a reward for the great primordial feat, you have awakened the job talent, Master of Farming. As a reward for the great primordial feat, all stats have increased by 3,000. As a reward for the great primordial feat, you have obtained 100 quadrillion tower coins. As a reward for the great primordial feat, the stay fee on the 0th floor has been reduced by 15%. Reward messages appeared. There's some sincerity at least. Satisfied with System 371, alternative, Sejun examined the rewards. Power, weak destruction resistance, was, as the name implied, a weak resistance to destruction. Title, Wall Breaker, reduced the durability of walls. And the job talent, Master of Farming, gave him knowledge about crops he was cultivating for the first time, allowing him to farm without trial and error. While Sejun was checking his rewards, flash, a bright light gathered in the air and formed a white crystal. Huh. Is this a waypoint? Tab. When Sejun placed his hand on the white crystal, Land of Destruction, First Wall of Destruction, Northern Outpost waypoint has been saved. The waypoint was saved. And then, oh, I was worried I'd have to come all the way back here, but now I won't need to. Sejun was delighted that the travel distance had been reduced, saving him time. Meanwhile, Kaya, Kiki, the Destruction Pioneers and Destruction Devourers began moving north. Pababek, the Destruction Pioneers, protecting the Destruction Devourers from the thread snake parasitizing corrupted destruction, slowly but relentlessly advanced across the land of destruction. They truly were living up to their name, Pioneers of Destruction. Poog. Sejun followed them slowly from behind, diligently planting the seeds of the Destruction Pioneers and Destruction Devourers. A little later. Let's go back now. Hut got it, meow. Kaiwat, yes. Sejun returned to the temple of the Creator God with Theo and Iona and began cooking. While they were cooking for several hours. But what should I get Aileen and the kids as gifts? Sejun opened his mouth in a voice full of worry. He was now a party veteran, so the preparations were smooth, but choosing gifts was still difficult. Well, he didn't have to worry about Blackie's gift. For Blackie, extremely delicious royal honey sweet potatoes were more than enough. In fact, giving anything else might just make Blackie angry. At that moment, Hut, Great Hybrid Chairman Park, don't worry, meow. Just trust in me, Vice Chairman Theo, meow. Theo said with great confidence. Oh, Vice Chairman Theo, do you have a good idea? What is it? Tell me. Sejun asked with anticipation at Theo's words. However, Hut, I don't have one yet, meow. Theo proudly shattered Sejun's expectations. What? You said to trust you. Thanks to that, Sejun's blood pressure spiked. Hut, Chairman Park, do you not trust the golden front paw of me, Vice Chairman Theo, meow? I trust them, no, I trust you. Hut. At Theo's words as he confidently held out his front paw, Sejun was immediately convinced. Even if he couldn't trust Theo, he trusted Theo's front paw 100%. A few hours after talking with Theo, as evening approached, "Let's head back soon. I need to leave snacks behind." Sejun left snacks for the creator god, then returned to the Black Tower with Theo and Iona. Upon Sejun's return, "Grrr Kaying. Grrr, Butler, where did you sneak off to without the great Blackie again? It's no fun if you keep doing this." Once again, the childish Blackie was throwing a tantrum for not being taken along. "No fun, huh? What are you going to do? Do I have to report to you where I've been?" Kaying. Butler so mean. Blackie had his cheek squished and dangled as he reflected on his actions. While Blackie was being scolded, Kyung. Hehe, Dad Kyungi is back. Kyungi, just off work from the herb garden, came flying in. "All right, let's eat." Sejun had dinner with his companions. That evening's menu was curry made with turmeric Kyungi had harvested. They had been eating curry for several days, but depending on the ingredients used, vegetable curry, chicken curry, etc., many variations were possible. And with curry rice, curry tteokbokki, curry udon, and more, the meal never felt repetitive. However, there's no turmeric left now. Tonight's curry was the last. The ingredients ran out before they could even get tired of it. Sejun, who had his last curry for dinner. "Haha, I'm full. Kyungi, should we have dessert?" He asked Kyungi if he wanted dessert. Kyung. Haha, sounds good. Of course, Kyungi agreed enthusiastically. Kilahit Kaying. Hee, Butler. Great Blackie wants dessert too. Give me extremely delicious royal honey sweet potatoes. So did Blackie. That's a meal. Don't you know what dessert is? Dessert. HMPH, this guy doesn't know anything. As Sejun spoke with a look of disdain toward Blackie. Kaying. If you eat it after a meal, it's dessert. It's all the same once it goes into the stomach. Butler is the one who doesn't know anything. Blackie barked back with irritation. No, it's different. Kaying. It's the same. Whatever the great Blackie says is always right. You little. Sejun, enraged by Blackie's insistence on being right, moved to apply physical force. Kaying. Run away. Blackie quickly bolted. For a sunfish, he sure is fast. Sejun grumbled and went to the kitchen to make 2 glasses of strawberry yogurt and drank them with Kyungi. Here, have dessert. Of course, he gave Blackie 1 piece of roasted and dried sweet potato as dessert too. Originally, he had intended to make extremely delicious royal honey sweet potato latte for dessert, but since he said he didn't want it, Blackie had kicked away his own fortune. Chomp. He's so tasty. Of course, the clueless Blackie was just happy, while they enjoyed their dessert. Wow, the stars are beautiful. Night deepened. Land of destruction. Go away. Boom. Corruption expelled a mental fragment that had received her power out of the land of destruction. She had given it too much power, so if it encountered Sejun on the way, it might kill him. In truth, she wanted to find and drive out the one she had previously released as well, but some had already crossed the 5th wall of destruction. And corruption could not cross the wall to retrieve the fragments. If I cross the wall, Sejun will be in danger. Not only did being physically closer to Sejun pose a risk, but the wall of destruction also served the function of absorbing some of corruption's power to prevent it from leaking outside. Somehow, like the creator god, corruption had ended up isolating herself. Sejun was amazing for making the world's strongest beings self-isolate. For reference, the first wall of destruction that Sejun destroyed was the one that absorbed the least of corruption's power. And currently, corruption was intentionally limiting her power so that the wall hardly absorbed anything. That was why there had been no damage when Sejun destroyed the first wall of destruction. Q found you. Let me go, please spare me. Q be still. Corruption found another fragment. Gulp. After swallowing it in one gulp, she transmitted her power. Pop. Then sent it out again. Boom. Expelling it from the land of destruction. Thanks to that, Corruption's power had now been reduced to just 30% of her original strength. Kyuhiha, it's about time to meet Sejun. Corruption waited for her encounter with Sejun. A little while later. Kyuhiha, the remnant thought has awakened. Corruption linked to her remnant thought. And then, it's Sejun. Through the eyes of the remnant thought, Corruption could see Sejun. Park Sejun, you don't hate me, you don't despise me, that's why you'll be with me forever. A red madness began to cloud Corruption's eyes. The next morning. All right. Sejun got up. You have completely eliminated the corruption within the world's energy and completed the purified world's energy. You have completed the quest. As a quest completion reward, all stats have increased by 8. As a quest completion reward, the 0th floor stay fee has decreased by 0.00011%. Hezeli. Not much left now. Sejun smiled with satisfaction as he looked at the quest messages. The current reduced stay fee was 93.30411%. If he could lower it by just about 6.7% more, he would be able to travel to Earth with a free pass. Meow. Kaying. Thanks to that, Sejun was in a good mood as he started his day with Vice Chairman Theo, Iona, and the Blackie family. 5 days later. Rumble. The second wall of destruction collapsed. The destruction pioneers were now able to deal with the snakes and didn't lose many destruction devourers. With the number of largely undamaged destruction devourers increasing to 50 trillion, the second wall of destruction took far less time to break than the first. And during those 5 days, Sejun had focused solely on planting destruction pioneer seeds to increase their numbers. The more destruction pioneers there were, the more destruction devourers could be protected. On top of that, as the destruction pioneers' combat ability increased, their enhanced physical strength boosted their seed planting speed 5-fold. This time there's nothing. It seemed that only the first achievement was acknowledged. There was no feat message for destroying the wall of destruction this time. As Sejun felt disappointed. Woo-wo. A portion of corruption's power, previously absorbed by the broken second wall of destruction, began leaking past the spot where the wall had stood. Power, weak destruction resistance, is resisting the power of destruction. At the same time, Sejun's power activated to resist the power of destruction. Though it wasn't a strong force, it was enough that Sejun didn't faint, allowing him to avoid an embarrassing moment. Land of Destruction, second wall of destruction, northern outpost waypoint has been saved. After safely overcoming this crisis, Sejun saved the waypoint. Kaya. Kiki. He followed behind the destruction pioneers and destruction devourers, advancing north again, planting destruction pioneer seeds, then returned to the Creator God's temple to make food. While he was cooking, Vice Chairman Theo, aren't you going to look for gifts? I think it's about time we go. Trusting in Theo's words, Sejun hadn't prepared any gifts. He now urged Theo, who had been lounging on his lap for the last 5 days. With only 5 days left until May 5th, he was getting anxious. I haven't felt the pull yet, meow. I, Vice Chairman Theo, am not slacking off, meow. I'm searching diligently, meow. At Sejun's words, Theo protested with a hurt voice. Oh, so that's what it was, got it. Sorry for interrupting, keep at it. Puhut understood, meow. Puffing up like a cat god, Theo proudly closed his eyes. But then, Gorarong. Kurarong. As the sound of Theo snoring happily beside Yona echoed. Hey. Sejun had had enough. Fuming, Sejun grabbed Theo's cheek and pulled. Meow, I'll go look around for now, meow. Yona, let's go, meow. Kaiwat, yes. Only then did Theo get up and go down the tower with Yona. And then Black Tower 99F Mushroom Ant 1, Vice Chairman Theo and Miss Iona are descending. Alert, one cat and one hamster detected. At the news of gangster cat Theo and the wizard of great destruction Iona descending the tower, the Black Tower tensed up. Chapter 719, Need a gift that contains my heart. 66th floor of the Black Tower. Meow, there's no pull, meow. When Theo looked dejected. Kaiwat, 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 Theonim, cheer up, there are still 66 floors left. Iona comforted him. Pewhut, got it, meow, I'll cheer up again, meow. Kaiwat, 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 that's the spirit. Reinvigorated by Iona's comfort, Theo regained his energy and descended the tower. And then Black Tower 66F, Red Orc far distance watch. The two have just gone down. Black Tower 65F, Lizardman Rilda, I'm scared, trembling. Black Tower 59F, Green Goblin Paku, they're not as scary as you think, as long as you don't make them mad. The pair's location was being shared in real time with the Black Tower residents through the full-time employee communication network. The next afternoon, I guess I should prepare a gift for Aileen too. Sejun, who was cooking at the temple of the creator god, suddenly spoke up. He believed Theo would bring good things, but if that's all he gave, it would seem insincere. No, to be precise, he was anxious that his feelings wouldn't be properly conveyed. I need a gift that contains my heart. Tat-a-tack. What should I prepare? While shredding carrots, Sejun fell into thought. As he continued shredding carrots for a while and was about to take out onions, an idea popped into his head. I'll sing her a song. With some unknown confidence, Sejun decided to give a song as a gift. A song I made myself. And it would be an original song. She'll definitely like it, haha. Sejun grinned as he imagined Aileen being delighted listening to his song. I'll make it later at dawn with peace. Him. Chop, chop, chop. Having decided on Aileen's birthday gift, Sejun felt relieved and cheerfully chopped onions while humming, and before he knew it, it was night. All right, everyone to your positions. Moo. Kwek. Were. The farm members responded to Sejun's command and dispersed. As time passed and midnight came, a blue moon rose in the night sky, bathing the land in blue light. The blue moon had risen. And then, peep-ick, 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 peep-io, peep-ike. Using the blue moon jump, Walgang, Walha, Huk, Walbach, Choo-Choo, and Black Torch appeared. Hey guys, you're here. While Sejun greeted the rabbits. Peep-io, 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 peep-io. Master not here, hooray. Choo-Choo rejoiced at the absence of Iona. She didn't have to do homework until the next blue moon. No way. I was finally able to sleep comfortably lately. On the other hand, Black Rabbit turned pale and despaired. What have you been up to lately, Black Torch? Peep-ike, peep-ike. I've been training hard, peep-hit. I think I can beat Uncle now. In response to Sejun's question, Black Torch replied with a sly smile. What, huh? You've still got 300 days before you can beat your uncle. How dare you? Sejun shook his index finger at Black Torch as if to say, not a chance. Peep-ike, peep-ike. No way I'll win. All right, then let's ask the Minotaur King to test us. Peep-ike. Okay. To determine who was stronger, Sejun and Black Torch went to find the Minotaur King. Moo. Sejunum can endure for 15 minutes with 2 fingers, and Black Torch 14 minutes and 55 seconds. No, 57 seconds. Huh. Though Sejun won over Black Torch by a whopping 3 seconds, he didn't feel happy at all. But I ate the black bean set. Having eaten the full +2 Transcendence black bean set, Transcendence black bean, Sturdy strength yellow bean, Sturdy stamina red bean, Agility green bean, and Magical blue bean, his stats were increased by 32 times. However, even after eating an SSS grade carrot, I lost to my uncle. It was the same for Black Rabbit. With his unique talent, carrot doping, which amplifies all stats for 1 hour based on the carrot's grade, Black Torch's stats were also increased by 30 times. It was an incredible talent, befitting the legendary Black Rabbit. Black Torch has gotten this strong. I need to grow stronger too. Uncle hasn't been slacking either. I need to step it up. As Sejun and Black Torch acknowledged each other. Moo, you both have gotten stronger. The Minotaur King looked pleased at their growth. However, thinking about it carefully, it became clear that among the three, the Minotaur King had grown the most significantly strong, since he withstood the dope duo with just 2 fingers. Because in the past, when the two had tested themselves, Sejun lasted 3 minutes, and Black Torch lasted 2 minutes and 40 seconds. In the end, if their growth over time were evaluated in an undoped state, Minotaur King Black Torch Sejun was the resulting outcome. While they were undergoing the test, rustle, blue-colored crops imbued with the blue moon's energy appeared on the farm. Let's begin. Sejun and his companions began harvesting. A little while later, guys, take care. The rabbit family, taking the SSS-grade blue moon carrots and regular carrots Sejun had packed for them, went down. Kyung. Sejun sleep well. Kyung. Dad sleep well. Sleep tight. Sejun said good night to Kyungi and Pinkfur. Blackie time to sleep. He. Then he lay down with the Blackie family on the bed and closed his eyes. And then, Keikirorong. Iamdorong. Keikurorong. Once the Blackie family had fallen asleep. SSH. He gently laid the sleeping Blackie family off his chest and stepped outside. Then, flap. Pip, Sejun, why are you up? Peacebees, who had been playing alone, flew over to Sejun joyfully. I've got something to do. Pip, something to do. Yeah, Peacebees, could you do me a favor? Pip, yes, what is it? Without even hearing what the request was, Peacebees immediately accepted and then asked what it was. Not here. First, make a dimensional gate for me. Pip, okay. Swoosh. At Sejun's words, Peacebees quickly created a dimensional gate. Step. Sejun stepped into the gate Peacebees had created. Then you have arrived at level 4 World Tsuin. A message appeared before Sejun. Tsuin. So this is Tsuin. Hehe, that means there's a treasure here. As Sejun grinned with excitement. Pip, Sejun, why are you smiling like that? Peacebees asked in a concerned voice, worried about Sejun's state. Peacebees, this place is called Tsuin. Pip, this is it. It was so hard to find when we were looking for it, and now we found it just like that. Peacebees was greatly surprised by Sejun's words. We found it thanks to you, Peacebees. Sejun praised Peacebees while lifting him onto his hand and stroking his head. Peacebees enjoyed being petted and had a joyful time. Then, now I'll tell you the favor. Peacebees, let's make a song together. Sejun told Peacebees his request. Pip, a song. Yeah. Pip, but I haven't even used my coupon yet. This is a favor I'm asking. Pip, sure. Peacebees responded with a happy voice at Sejun's words. First, let's go somewhere farther from the gate. Pip, okay. The two moved to a place where no one could overhear the song. I'm going to make a song to give Aileen as a birthday present. They began creating the song in earnest. Pip, then how about starting with this, though we cannot meet? Peacebees added lyrics while singing the tune he composed on the spot with his clear voice. Oh, nice. We feel each other will meet someday because we are destined. Sejun continued, adding silly and cliché lyrics to the song Peacebees had started. Pip, great then. No matter how terribly Sejun sang, musical genius Peacebees made it sound good. Even though I made it, it's pretty decent. Thanks to that, Sejun got excited and worked joyfully with Peacebees to complete the song. At that moment, who's there? Someone approached from a distance and asked. They had been camping, and came over out of curiosity after hearing the singing. "Ah, sorry for being loud. I thought no one was around." "No worries, I couldn't sleep anyway. If it's okay, may I listen from here?" "Of course." Sejun allowed the man to listen and continued making the song with Peacebees. They only had a few hours to work, so there was no time to waste. A little while later, when the song was finished, "Actually, I'm a bard. Would it be all right if I sang that song?" the man asked with an earnest expression. With no popular songs to perform, he hadn't been requested to sing anywhere, but he had a strong feeling that this song would be a huge hit. "I'm sorry, I'm going to give this song to my girlfriend as a gift, but I'll teach you something else instead." Sejun shared one of the songs he knew with the man. "Pip pip, just sing it like this." Since Sejun's rhythm was off, Peaceby sang it again properly and taught it to the bard. "Well, we'll be on our way." "Thank you." As Sejun and Peacebees left, the bard practiced the song he learned until sunrise and immediately went down to the village. "Now I'm tired of it, Wild Bee, TL. This is from the song Wild Bee Kotengba Enus, which is a trot genre song. He sang the song he learned from Sejun at the tavern. And in the future, the man would be recorded in the musical history of Sejun as a legendary bard who popularized a new genre. Humming the song he just made, Sejun returned to the Black Tower when the tower's administrator asks where you've been, staying up without sleep. Aileen spoke to him. Peaceby said he found the world with a hidden treasure, right, Peacebees?" Flustered, Sejun quickly answered and tried to prompt Peacebee's support. "Pip pip, yes, that's right." Not good at lying, Peacebees answered with a shaky voice and gave off an obviously suspicious vibe. The tower's administrator cheerfully says to hurry and move the treasure into her storage. Thankfully, Aileen was too excited by the mention of treasure to notice Peacebee's awkwardness. I haven't actually found the treasure yet. I was planning to go with the guys after breakfast." And so, treasure hunting was added to Sejun's already busy schedule. "I better get some work done before breakfast." Sejun decided to stop by the 10th tower first. He couldn't go to the Calamity Farm because Theo wasn't there. Clicking. Sejun turned the key, opened the door to the 10th tower and stepped inside. Hell, the god who lost her divinity tells you to hurry up and collect the rent. Hell spoke to him. Though a month had passed since the impeachment period ended, she still hadn't paid rent and couldn't return, so Hell had been waiting. "Oh." At the same time, a small glass vial appeared in Sejun's hand, elixir of charisma. Drinking this elixir increases charisma for 1 hour. With high charisma, you can overcome your opponent's presence or suppress them to conduct favorable transactions. The effect has greatly decreased as the creator's divinity has disappeared. Remaining amount, 5 drops. Usage restriction, none. Creator, Hell, the god who lost her divinity. Grade B. Charisma. And it's a B grade. What am I supposed to do with this? Though Sejun wasn't thrilled with the elixir's effect and grade, a promise was a promise. "Okay, I'll lift your impeachment now." He reinstated Hell and began farm work. 58th floor of the Black Tower. Meow. Theo stretched out his front paw and focused his attention. At that moment, Kyung. Theo Hyung isn't at his spot right now. Let's hurry and go up. Theo heard Beektang's impudent voice in his ear, and the content was even impudent. "How dare you aim for Chairman Park's lap, meow." Theo was furious. "I'll get there first, meow." He forgot all about looking for a gift and immediately used light speed meow step, dashing straight for the 99th floor. "Pew Hugh Hut, Chairman Park, I missed you, meow." Kaiwat, I came too." "Oh, you're back already." "Kyung. It's Big Bro." Kivit Kaying. Hi Big Bro, welcome." He clung to Sejun's face, just as he was about to step through the dimensional gate. And then, "Meow, Chairman Park, I feel the pull, meow." Theo shouted triumphantly, and pointed in the direction where he felt the pull. Chapter 720, Hahaha. Vice Chairman Theo, if it weren't for me, you'd have just been dumped. You have arrived at level 4 World Sejun. This time, Sejun arrived in Sejun in full formation with Theo, Iona, Kyungi, and the Blackie family. Pew Hut, Chairman Park, it's that way, meow. Theo, hanging onto Sejun's knee, pointed east. As expected of our Vice Chairman Theo, Sejun had asked the bard early in the morning and found out the location in advance. Seeing Theo point precisely in the direction of the Jiganin Mountains, where the treasure was hidden, Sejun once again had to acknowledge Theo's golden front paw. Then let's get going. Like that, Sejun and his companions moved eastward where the Jiganin Mountains were. She won't be sulking just because I didn't visit for a day yesterday, right? Should I have said something before coming? Suddenly, Sejun thought of corruption. Should I go and meet her for a bit? No, I'll just meet her tonight and talk then. Since there was a lot to do right now, he thought it would be better to talk leisurely later that night. At that moment, Great Hybrid Chairman Park, there's a very serious problem, meow. Theo said with a very solemn expression. A serious problem, what is it? No way has the pull vanished. That means the treasure suddenly disappeared. Someone stole our treasure. Sejun grew frantic at Theo's words. But there's no present for me, Vice Chairman Theo, meow. How present? What present? There are presents for Aileen Nuna, Kyungi, Peacebees, and Blackie, but none for me, meow. It was a different problem, a very trivial one. Hey, you. Just as Sejun was dumbfounded and about to scold Theo. There is a present for Kyungi. Is there a present for me? A present for the great Blackie, extremely delicious royal honey sweet potatoes. Hearing Theo's words, Kyungi, Peacebees, and Blackie perked their ears and looked at Sejun. Sigh, yes, I was preparing Children's Day presents for Kyungi, Peacebees, and Blackie. Sejun sighed and cleared the children's curiosity. Just like that, the Children's Day surprise gift operation that Sejun had planned was ruined. Q-he-he. Be-he. He-he. Instead, they could look forward to Children's Day, so maybe this was better. Just as Sejun was thinking that being positive is good. Kyung. Theonim, what about me? Yona grew gloomy, having been left out by Theo. She fumed inside because it hurt her pride to say it herself. At that moment, Chairman Park, there's no present for my Yona either, meow. Theo took care of Yona. All right, I'll give you 2 presents too. Kaiwat. Thanks to that, a bright smile blossomed on Yona's face as if she had never been gloomy. Kaiwat. Theonim looked out for me, he said, my Yona. Naturally, what made Iona happier than Sejun's present was the fact that Theo had looked after her and used the word my for her. And then, hahaha, Vice Chairman Theo, if it weren't for me, you'd have just been dumped. Meow, is that so, meow? Thank you, meow, as expected of the Great Hybrid Chairman Park, meow. The act of Sejun poking Theo's side to make him look out for Iona was a secret between just Sejun and Theo. A little while later, we've arrived. Sejun and his companions arrived at the Jiganin Mountains, where giant mountains were present. Pew Hut, Chairman Park, that way, meow. No, this way, meow. Theo pointed in the direction where the pull was felt, but began to get confused. What's wrong? When Sejun asked. Pew Hut, there are 2 pulls, meow. As expected, my front paws recognized by Great Hybrid Chairman Park are excellent, meow. Theo, having finished evaluating the situation, answered with a smug expression. Aside from the treasure they originally intended to find, another pull was being felt. Oh, 1 + 1. Sejun's face was also filled with a smile at Theo's response. Vice Chairman Theo, where is it? Sejun quickly took Theo to locate the places where the pull was felt. He was planning to work on both sides simultaneously. Since Kyungi, the master of digging, would handle one side, and Iona, the wizard of great destruction, would handle the other, it would be done in no time. This way, meow. When Theo pointed, Kyung, Kyungi began digging a tunnel in the direction Theo's front paw was pointing. And this way, meow. Then, when Theo pointed toward the other direction, where another pull was felt. Kaiwat, 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 power of gravity. Yona created a miniature black hole. Quad Yujujuk. And moved it forward, sucking in the ground to create a hole. In the meantime, Sejun prepared snacks for the hardworking Kyungi and Yona, and lay down with the rest of the group on a mat spread out on the ground to take a break. Quagwagwagwing. It's a bit noisy. The sound of digging and vibrations were intense, a testament to how fiercely they were digging. However, Kuwa. Sejun took a sound sleep without being bothered by such things. Gorarung. Berarung. Kekurarung. The rest of the group also slept well on top of Sejun's body. While they were sleeping, sensing a presence, Sejun quickly opened his eyes and wiped his mouth, pretending not to have been asleep. But, Kyung, Dad, were you sleeping? He was caught red-handed by Kyungi, who had come up from the ground after finishing the task. Is he going to get mad? Feeling guilty for sleeping alone, Sejun couldn't answer. Kyung, if you're tired, sleep more. Pad. Fortunately, the filial son Kyungi didn't scold Sejun for sleeping, but instead patted his shoulder to lull him back to sleep. Sniff as expected of my son. Kuwa. Feeling touched, Sejun listened to his dutiful son and fell asleep again. Kyuiha. Kyungi, having put Sejun to sleep, also placed his butt next to Sejun's side and closed his eyes. A few minutes later, Kaiwat. Yona, having finished her task, found Sejun and the others sleeping. And, what if the treasure gets stolen like this? Kaiwat, power of magic, block the access of those not permitted, gate lock. She blocked the entrances of the holes dug by her and Kyungi with magic to prevent others from entering. Absolute shield. Then she cast protective magic around Sejun and thoroughly cleaned up the situation. Kaiwat. Yona then wrapped Theo's tail around herself and happily fell asleep. She giggled in her sleep as she dreamed of marrying Theo. Hell's pawnshop. Creak. Well, I'm finally back. Hell burst into tears as she opened the door to her pawnshop and entered. And I need to stop by my clients to let them know I'm back. She hurried to the seed shop headquarters and visited gods like Mud, the god of mud, and Har, the god of basalt, whom Sejun usually looked for often. However, Hell, I'm disappointed in you. All this time you were taking 5 welfare points while giving me only 1 point. The gods who had already received Theo's designated quest knew how much Hell had been skimming off the top. Oh, guys, that's... Forget it, we're not doing business with you anymore. They no longer wanted to deal with Hell. Did I take too much? This isn't good. Hell fell into deep worry. At this rate, she wouldn't be able to collect welfare points, and then the delivery of 100 Transcendence-grade seeds to Sejun would be halted. On top of that, she'd be saying goodbye forever to the promotion to the god of legendary merchants, the quest reward, and the 5% stake in Sejun Company's seed delivery network. Isn't there a good solution? Hell racked her brain, trying hard to find a way out of this situation. But, what do I do? She couldn't come up with a good idea. No, one sure method did come to mind, but I really don't want to use that. She didn't want to use it, because that method meant meeting the one existence Hell dreaded most. Hell, get it together. How can the god of merchants be afraid of meeting another merchant? Hell braced herself in. Knock, knock. Are you there? She knocked on a door connected to someone's mental world. Theo's mental world. Wadadada. Mini Chairman Park number 4 was running around busily, adding a bit of churu to the giant churu lake and a few small grilled fish to the mountain of grilled fish. Pew Hut, grow up quickly, meow. Your knees are too tiny, meow. Theo gathered the surrounding energy diligently to help Mini Chairman Park number 4 grow. At that moment, knock, 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 a sound came from the sky. Meow, who is it, meow? Theo asked. It's me, Hell, the god of merchants. Hell answered. Hut, come in, meow. When Theo gave permission, the sky opened and Hell descended. Then, Vice Chairman Theo, I have a request. Please give all future designated quests only to me. Hell got straight to the point. She had already decided to be shameless and boldly made her plea. Meow, Hellnim, have you lost your mind, meow? Don't you know it was because you bought up all the seeds in the middle that our great hybrid Chairman Park seed shop couldn't open, meow? Do you want to be impeached again, meow? Theo raised his voice and got angry at Hell's words. Thud, thud. Because of you, main body took a loss. Mini Chairman Park number 4 also kicked Hell's shoes with his small feet, angrily. That won't happen this time. Hell hadn't come without a plan. And if you give all designated quests to me from now on, I'll offer you 1,000,000 divine relics, 5 drops of elixir, and 5 transcendence-grade seeds every month. Hut, really, meow? Yes. Hut, sounds good, meow. Theo joyfully accepted Hell's proposal. Among the conditions for the quest to create New World Law: 10,000 quadrillion tower coins, completed. 10 quadrillion liters of energy of creation, completed. 10 billion liters of dragon blood from each of the 9 dragons, completed. 1 trillion scales from each of the 9 dragons, completed. 1 trillion divine power, completed. 10 billion divine relics, not completed. Only the divine relics remained incomplete. About 3 billion divine relics were lacking. Hut, I'm going to complete this quickly and make Great Hybrid Chairman Park the strongest in the world, meow. That way, I can be with Chairman Park forever until death, meow. While Theo imagined a happy future together with Sejun. Thud, thud. Hey, what about me? Mini Chairman Park number 4 kept kicking Hell, demanding something for himself too. What's up with this kid? Then I'll be going now. Hell wore a troubled expression and quickly escaped the situation. How long did I sleep? Sejun, who had dozed off for about an hour, opened his eyes. As the sunlight stung his eyes, he quickly shielded them and sat up. Coving. Because of the movement, the Blackie family who were sleeping on Sejun's chest began to roll off due to the tilt. Catch. Sejun caught them with his hand and placed them into his sling bag. Then, everyone, let's get up. He gently shook the party members to wake them. Meow. Kaiwat. Kyung. Pip pip. As everyone woke up. Kyungi, can you make me some coffee? Kyung. Sejun made drinks for the party, while Kyungi prepared iced Americano for Sejun. After enjoying the pre-prepared snacks and cold beverages, Sejun and the party refreshed themselves. Hehe, now where should we go first? Sejun pondered for a moment and decided to start with the place Kyungi had dug. Dad, aren't you curious about the place Kyungi dug? Because Kyungi was looking at Sejun and sending sparkling signals with eyes full of anticipation. A moment later, Kugagung. When Sejun, who moved along the tunnel Kyungi dug, opened the magnificent stone gate with a 10-meter-high stone statue of a monster fighting in front. Wow! A space filled with treasure appeared. What's that? Inside, something unidentifiable caught Sejun's eye. It was the traces of Kyungi, who had opened the gate first to ensure Sejun's safety and eliminated the guardians guarding the treasure. Let's pack quickly. Having become treasure retrieval specialists, the party quickly stored the treasures in void storage. Kaiwat, this way. This time they followed the tunnel Yona had dug. Then, it's too shabby. In front of Sejun was a pitiful-looking wooden door. Creak. Sejun opened the door without hesitation. O bearer of primordial power, Come quickly. Along with a voice in his head, he lost consciousness.